National Havoc Robot League 2026 Pro World Championship. It's our first qualifying event of the season, and every single robot here in prime time has qualified for our first Pro Tour event in May. But that's not all they want. They want golden dumpsters. They want golden Bretts at the end of the year, and they want to qualify for the Pro World Championship in December. Now, to my good friends, Adam and Kyle.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sam Hansen. That's right. My name is Kyle Crows. With me is our combat robotics expert, Adam Wrigley. It is so good to be with you today. Adam, how's your day been?
What a way to kick off the 2026 NHRL season. Banger fight after banger fight, and we're going to keep it rolling into prime time. Everybody has been hitting hard. We've been losing cameras, we've been losing bots, we've been losing parts. The floor had to be replaced. What a crazy day.
So many amazing robots left in this tournament after so many devastating moments this morning. Look at these fans. So happy to be here. So many of these fans have been with us since the very beginning at 10 o'clock this morning.
Let's take a look at the 3-pound bracket.
Right up at the top, we've got the Wall versus the reigning, defending world champion Pinevictus. Absolutely looking forward to that fight.
BRZRKR going up against Shadi's girlfriend. Colossus versus Anubis, and Warhard, after a full year off, is going up against Chainsaw Kitty in the first round.
That is going to be an amazing fight. I'm loving this 3-pound bracket. Let's talk about the 12-pound bracket as it stands right now. Up at the top, we've got #1 seed Buzz-Kill, Liam King, going up against Xenomorph. That fight is going to be vicious.
Then we've got a cat fight, Robo-Cat versus Bigheera. A hot fight, Carolina Reaper versus Caldera 12. And a really interesting one, that's a lot of TPU going up against Grim Ripper.
But right now, let's see what's going on upstairs in our prime time pits. These are the bots that have qualified already for the Pro World Tour event coming up later this season.
But that's not all they want. They're hard at work trying to make it to the top 4 tonight and guarantee an opening, a berth in the Pro World Championships later in December. But let's also take a look here. What do we got in the 30-pound bracket? Now, unfortunately, I am getting word Kazadlight versus Emperor isn't going to happen. Emperor had to forfeit that fight, but we will get to see the reigning world champs in all of their fiery glory in the top 4 later tonight.
I am so excited to see the rest of these fights. We do have a 30-pound fight loaded into the box right now, which means there's only one thing left to do. Sam Hansen, take it away.
That's right, there's just one thing left to do. We've got Quack, we've got Phenomenon in the cage. It's time to lock it and rock it. To you in the play-by-play, Dima and Ricky, take it away.
Thank you so much, Sam. I'm Ricky Willems.
I'm Dima Papazian.
And we're going to be here in our secret underground bunker, the play-by-play booth, bringing you every angle, giving you all that expert insight that you want to guide you through these fights. We're going to be on the edge of our seats. I know you're going to be on the edge of your seat.
I've been bringing the hype since 10 in the morning, but we're not even close to done, and it's only uphill from here.
We're all out of seat edges. We hope you're going to be in the same boat. Well, let's not waste any more time. We're going to get right into the fight. Take a look at these robots and the builders right now. The cage side, you can see these robots getting loaded in. For our first fight, we are going to have Quack going up against Phenomenon. Two absolutely deadly vertical spinning robots. Both of these really heavy hitters. We've seen great showings so far today. Dima, what are you looking at going into this fight? Actually, no, let's go right into the builders. First up,
We have Quack, driven by
Ryan Tor. Quack is a 4-wheel drive modular robot, and they're going to be going up against Brandon Bennett Young of Bowie, Maryland, who has brought for us today Phenomenon.
your favorite builder's favorite fighter is here, driving one of the most important verts in the entire weight class in the division. Somebody you have to worry about and respect every single event.
Brandon is one of the most competitive and commensurate, just best competitors we have here. Quack's going to have a hard one to take.
Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. Brandon a little slow out of the gate with Phenomenon, but able to get under Quack very effectively.
Maybe slow out of the gate. I'd call this precise driving. A competitor at heart for sure, and a fellow fighting game player. I think he's using that to his advantage. I think he's definitely playing the driver right now, so to speak.
Yeah, this is very, very measured.
Quack is getting bent out of shape pretty badly with the ground game.
That wedge on the front of Phenomenon is just an excellent geometry for this.
Quack is called for an unstick.
Interesting move. It didn't seem like they were that stuck, but they may just not want to be in this inverted position, even if they can free themselves eventually. It's asking for a lot of damage, let me tell you.
It seemed like they were stuck for just a second, and Ryan decided quickly.
Ooh, that was a brutal hit, Dima. The chassis is twisted. Quack lays plucked in the corner of the arena, and Brandon Bennett-Young is walking home with a win for Phenomenon.
The first win of Prime Time was to Brandon Bennett-Young. Pretty decisive, if I do say so myself. Didn't really look like they were losing any engagements.
No, it was consistently in favor of Phenomenon. We saw a few glancing blows from Quack, but that geometry really did not favor them. And of course, the driving of Brandon really left no openings for Ryan Tor of Quack.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was Phenomenon's first victory of the day. Let's take a look at it again.
Good hit there. Very measured, but just brutal level of engagement in that hit. You can see the plastic armor hanging limp off the side of Quack.
Clean hits to the side.
Brandon steely-eyed, looking pleased, looking composed.
Nerves of steel for sure.
Let's see here. Okay, Ryan Tao, cage side next to Brandon. A little less pleased, I'd say, but, you know, against a competitor and a robot like Phenomenon, there's no shame in a loss like that.
Oh, it's hard to be upset about losing to Brandon. I can't imagine I would be in a scenario like this. Those first couple hits really tore up the frame on Quack, and you see the forks bent up now. It's really hard to keep winning vert-to-vert, weapon-to-weapon engagements when your forks are bent in a shape you didn't prepare for.
Yeah, you only basically get a couple of shots with those before they're bent to the point where they're no longer useful. We might be able to get a little more insight on this. We're going to go cage side with Sam. He's got Brandon right now.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Ricky. I am here with Brandon Bennett-Young, and you just won that fight pretty handily. Did you go unscathed, though?
No. When they were inverted, actually, they hit down onto the right side of the robot. So kind of created it a little bit, but I think overall the functions are still there. Still has lifters, still has drive, still has weapon, which is probably the biggest one. So I think overall it might still work. Probably does still work, but I'm gonna have to look at it a bit more.
All right, well, good luck up there in the pits, and back to y'all at the desk.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Fun fact, no more desk. We got rid of that a while ago. But you know what I will say? Brandon had a look on his face that communicated, yeah, that went the way it should have gone to me. That's what I like to see with Brandon Bennett-Young, that level of confidence.
He had a tough morning. You know, not a lot of great performances for him, but, you know, he comes back, never count him out. He just made the top 4. He's going to be back for Pro World Championships in December. You got to be happy with that.
Absolutely. Qualify early and qualify often, I always say. That matchup was absolutely brutal, and I'd say Brandon drove that pretty perfectly.
In case you're new here, welcome to viewing NHRL Live, and here is Havoc 101. We've got 3 weight classes, 3 pound, 12 pound, and 30 pound. You go up against robots your own size. We've got 3 minutes per fight, and the goal is simple. Destroy your opponent before they destroy you. The fight ends by either tap out, That's when you say, I've had enough. Knockout, that's when the referee says you've had enough. Or judge's decision. If you both make it to 3 minutes, we got to figure out what happened. We throw it to the judges. Each robot gets one unstick request per fight. That means they can ask the house robot to unstick them. Once you use it, you lose it, you got no more. And the top 8 bots tonight, all of them are going to be making it to the Pro World Tour event #1 in May.
And if you have been here before, you got to pay attention to this next part. We're going to Cage 1 for some vicious action for you. Check out these fans. So excited to be here.
They're loving it almost as much as I am.
We are loaded into the box.
Killswitch, beautiful design, but let's toss it to the booth. Ricky and Dima, what is up?
Thanks so much, Adam. I agree. Killswitch, beautiful, beautiful robot, but Gored has really been the focus of my attention today. But let's go more some more Killswitch. Why not? We've got Jacob Painter as the builder, and again, it is a beautiful shuffling drum spinner with a just amazing livery. Going up against
Carter
Kurtz.
Kurtz, fighting out of Terre Haute, Indiana. We've got Gored, and this ain't no Thanksgiving Gored. It's not a squash. It's a 4-wheel drive vert that has really strutted its stuff today and made itself look like one of the most frightening robots in the room. I think it is.
It's delivered some heavy hits today. I have a feeling it's
5,
going to deliver
4,
a few more.
3, 2, 1. Fight, robots,
Way we go.
fight.
Very quick spin up from Gored and a couple of good hits right off the bat. Ooh, excellent engagement and control.
Behind flow is not where you want to be.
That armor package on Killswitch doesn't oh, look at that handstand!
That was a pretty bad hit to the back. Looks like Gored is kind of winning the maneuverability fight. Killswitch is a shuffler.
Yes, but those 4 forks on the front of Gored really doing a great job today.
Gored's weapon is down. I wonder if maybe weapon ESC got damaged from one of those hits.
I wouldn't be surprised. Those were some big weapon-to-weapon moments.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Yeah, it seems that the weapon does spin up, but it is a little underpowered. Yes, you can see almost all of the belt is gone. There's just a little bit hanging on.
It's loose. Taking that pin.
Now that the weapon is down, it's a little easier for them to get by doing pins. You can show some intent to harm using pins, especially if it's slamming an opponent into a wall and that sort of thing.
It looks like it's doing a great job of stopping Killswitch's weapon and jamming it up, not letting it spin up to 100. Maybe if it can avoid it, not letting it spin up at all.
Well, the wonderful thing Gored has going for it against Killswitch is this sort of cradle of forks on the front of the robot. This can allow them to pick up almost Killswitch and shove them into walls, maybe do damage from those sort of impacts, but it's having a hard time winning these pushing battles with the sheer weight of Killswitch.
Here you go, though.
There, that's exactly what they need to do with a little more energy. If they can get those slams going, they can really show an attempt to harm their opponent.
If Killswitch is able to cut a little bit of an angle, they kind of do-si-do each other, but when Gored is perfectly head-on with Killswitch, it's more of a sumo match that it looks like it wins, even with the weight differential. Man, Gored drives smooth, especially with the weapon down like this.
Yeah, now mind you, the weapon being down on Killswitch is pretty notable as well. They're not going to be able to do damage as well, and they're even less likely to slam Gored into a wall.
Absolutely. If both weapons are down, Gored seems to have a little bit of the advantage on drive.
Now, I can't see any sort of missing belt or other setup here on Killswitch, so perhaps an electronics failure. It's hard to say. This is going to come down to a judge's decision with only 10 seconds left in the match.
I wonder, in the judge's eyes, who won all those. I think Gored won more early engages and scored more hits before both weapons were down. Here's what the proven period's for, though.
Now, you can see Killswitch is spinning a bit. It's not spinning fast, it's not spinning well, but it is functioning in terms of that weapon, and that is going to count for a lot.
Yeah, the condition of its weapon sure seems a little stronger, a little healthier than the condition of Gored's weapon. All things being equal in drive, one condition score might be ahead of the other by a significant margin.
Well, we will have to wait and see. We'll see what the judges come back with in their score in just a little bit. And in the meantime, we are going to be working towards another big bot fight. I'm excited about who's up. Dima, are you?
I'm excited. Should we spoil it or should we wait?
No, let's build the hype. Let's see if they're making the robots safe cage side. For people watching at home, all of these robots are required to have safety cutoffs. Usually that's in the form of a screwdriver actuated switch. So before the robot can come out of the arena, you have to turn it off. Let's go ahead and toss it back to Kyle and Adam and see what they have to say.
So excited to be with you. We do have some new information this year. We've had some changes this season. The biggest one being our judges' criteria. We've dialed it in, we've consolidated, we shrunk it down, and we're presenting it to you right now. Go right ahead, Adam.
Yeah, it's a little bit simpler. We don't have 3 categories, we just have 2. Attack is worth 5 points and condition is worth 6. Condition, that's really similar to damage, but it's a more, literal interpretation. It's not who did damage to what, it's just what condition is your robot in. If your robot's doing better, you get more points. And then attack is the other category. It's kind of how much were you using your active weapon to cause harm or attempt to cause harm to your opponent throughout the duration of the fight. When we say harm, that could mean flipping your opponent, getting them stuck on a wall, tossing them in the air. It's not just causing damage, but putting them in a worse off position than when you started the engagement, doing that continually with your active weapon. We've got 3 judges. If 2 of them say you won the fight, you won the fight.
That's all you got to do is convince 2. And let's also talk about another addition to this season, the Prove It period. Immediately post-fight, you have to demonstrate your weapon. You have to demonstrate your drive. You've got 20 seconds, and it's as the bots lay. You don't get to go in there and reset. You don't get to go in there and get separated.
No crowbars.
No crowbars. If you're upside down, you've got to prove your stuff works upside down. 20 seconds is plenty of time. This is a lot better than the judges asking for people to show their movement and whatnot. Now you got to do it immediately afterwards, and we really appreciate it if you do it with a little bit of panache.
Yeah, we don't have style points, but you still should use some style in the Prove It period. Show off with flair. Don't hit your opponent. That's against the rules. Spin around, activate your weapon, wave your arms if your robot's got them. Put on a little show.
All right, and now it is time to go to the big box. We've got Cage 1 action, and first up, Maccabot. Look at this vertical spinning death machine. I love this robot. It's just simple. Meat and potatoes, and they're going up against fish. Feed that fish. Giant disc, huge forks. Really cool stylings. I love this robot.
Both robots coming in with massive weapons, big hits all day long. Let's throw it to the booth to call this one with Ricky and Dima.
Oh, interesting. Right off the bat, we have fish power cycling. They're having some trouble cage side. So one of the first things you do if you have trouble, just like with your router at home, you turn it off and you turn it on again.
Well, you're calling the robot fish. And I have here that it's pronounced more like fish. It says there's no I.
There is no I. It's a
not
great
fish.
point. It's FSH.
Although it does seem a little bit more of a clunky chant to say feed the fish.
Yeah. It's a good call out. It does appear that power cycle worked. Basically, sometimes you turn on these things and something's askew, there's a wire not connected, there's radio interference, battery's unhappy, any number of other things, or your controller is in the wrong position when you first turn it on. It can throw an error. The system never turns on properly, so you turn it off and you turn it on again, and you hope that resolves the issue. Although Fish has moved itself into the corner, I'm being told that it is not able to demonstrate weapon. Now, we have a pretty strict requirement here at NHRL that if you don't have a weapon, you do not get to fight. So they're going to want to try and fix that as soon as possible, and they may be looking at disqualification if they can't get something figured out real fast.
I hope that's not the case, only because, you know, you want every fight to happen, you know what I mean?
I mean, especially a Fish fight.
Hope they can get that working.
Well, you can see some pretty aggressive
Stick
flicking.
smashing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been there.
Interesting.
I'm
Very interesting. I'm being told that we are getting a JD, a judge's decision from that last fight. Well, let's check in on that while we wait for this one to be resolved. There it is, Gored across the board winning. Very close scores across the board and fairly decisive for Gored, I'd say.
Absolutely unanimous judges' victory. I think they just edged it out in basically every category besides maybe just weapon condition at the end. I think they edged it out on driving, on aggression. I think they landed a little more damage. I think the hits had tons of intent and they just had more. Just had more hits.
Yeah, the geometry was just in their favor. In the meantime, let's take a look here and listen in, perhaps. Interesting. We're discussing whether or not this is going to be a forfeit. I'm not sure quite yet. Sounds like there's something they at least hope would resolve this, but they're unsure. Controllers are going to go down. Get them out of your hands because these robots are live. If you're going to open the doors, you don't want to accidentally touch your controller when you're not meaning to spin something up. At least not until the weapon locks are in place to render the robots safe. You can see this, in this case, they've got a small bolt and a wing nut that block that weapon from ever spinning up. While these things spin with a whole lot of power, they take a little bit of time to put that power into the robot. It doesn't usually take a lot of effort to keep it from spinning. It's just real hard to slow it down. All right, you can see they are trying to repair something cage side. They're going to try and get a top plate off, perhaps. Maybe unplug the battery, check that it was plugged in properly, whatever it is.
Working as hard as they can, as fast as they can within the allowed time that they're given. Unfortunately, this is sort of a consequence of running these machines through several fights per day, taking and dishing out tons and tons of damage.
Yeah, the accrued damage can really stack up in ways that you do not expect. You can see they're doing a two-player approach on these bolts. They only have 20 more seconds to get this done. It's very difficult to get this done in time. Oh, I think they may have given up the ghost on that.
It's hard to even get a top plate off in the required time frame, especially on a 30-pound robot.
Especially on a 30-pound robot that's held together by this many bolts and screws. Sometimes it's just one or two holding it in place, but it looks like this is going to be turning into a forfeit. Seems Sam is cage side. Let's see what he has to say.
Yes, I'm with Ethan right now. Ethan, what just went down there?
So our weapon is non-functional completely. What I believe happened, the wire running from our ESC, which lives in this box, to our other box with receivers in is really short. We fear it may have unplugged at some point during the reassembly.
Well,
had a number of sudden technical difficulties right before this match, so it really is possible.
yes, well, unfortunate circumstance, but great run today overall, and we'll see you in May.
We'll try.
We'll try.
All right, thank you so much. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Sam. Well, it's unfortunate. You don't want to see that happen. We wanted to see Maccabot fight. We wanted to see Fish fight. But we will see Maccabot later today. And in the meantime, we're going to get ready, I think, to move into the 3-pound weight class.
Going smaller, no less exciting though. Some say that the 3-pound bracket, the 3-pound division, is the most competitive of them all due to the ease of access compared to the other two divisions. The bots are a little cheaper, they cost less to make. They typically have more 3D printed parts, less machining. Okay.
Sounds like we're going to go back to Sam. He's got Rob, our head steward for the day.
That is correct, Ricky. I'm with Rob Sirkin, our head steward. And Rob, can you go ahead and explain that situation real quick?
Yeah, sure. So when we have a situation where a robot arrives at the cage unable to fight, at least with the minimum viable of having some sort of functional weapon, what we can do in those cases is we can give them a free chance to do a power cycle. If that doesn't do it, they can utilize a TKO point, and they'll get 1 minute to do a cage side repair. Now, often, it's a little bit of a mixed bag with whether or not you're going to be able to get it to function. Unfortunately, in this case, they couldn't, but we did try to do what we could to get that match to go.
All right. Thank you so much, Rob. And we're going to send it back to y'all.
Thank you, Sam.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sam Hansen. I got to say, I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to that fish fight.
Really wanted to see it. Would the fish be fed? I guess this time, no. Disappointing to lose that way. No one likes that to happen. But hey, they made the first Pro Tour event. Maybe we'll see them in May. But let's take a look at the 3-pound bracket and see who we've got up next.
So many exciting bots in the 3-pound bracket. Starting right up at the top, you've got the Wall, Part 2, taking on the reigning, defending world champion, Pinevictus.
The Wall has looked unbeatable today, but if anyone can take them down, it's Pinevictus.
Absolutely. I'm very much so looking forward to that fight. I got to tell you, the other one that I'm looking forward to really badly is all the way down at the bottom of the bracket. It is the returning Jonathan Juarez and War Hard, coming back after a year on hiatus, going up against highly ranked Chainsaw Kitty. Keziah Sky is looking like a monster today.
They did have a tough fight coming into this one, but I am looking forward to it.
All right, so let's go to Cage 2. First up, we've got the Wall. Part 2. Look at these big old beefy defense walls, the forks, the overhead attack, but he's going up against the reigning world champ. That's right, it's Alex Wang and Pinevictus. Look at that machine. Oh, so clean. All right, we're going to go to the booth to see our friends Dima and Ricky. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Kyle. I'm excited to see this. Pinevictus has got quite a climb ahead of them.
3,
See how it goes.
1. Fight, robots, fight.
Wow, very fast start from Pinevictus.
Now this is a robot fight. Let's see if you can climb the wall. Ben is an amazing driver, and he's driven his heart out all day, but this is maybe one of the roughest kinds of bots that you could put him under. A vert with a weapon that's teched just to throw these big flat hammer saw pancakes around.
However, the driving that Ben is doing right now for the Wall is exactly what he needs to do. Pinevictus is a point-and-shoot robot. They like to line up and strike fast, and instead of that, Wall staying on top of Pinevictus, keeping them stationary as much as possible, landing hits, controlling the match.
There's a shot.
Landing huge hits.
Doesn't look like it had any effects. Pinevictus looks like it's got some pretty strong top armor.
Interesting, that second hit there, I didn't see any weapon spinning. There's the weapon spinning on the Wall, Part 2.
Looks like he knows these are... That's a great place for Pinevictus to get stuck if you're Ben.
Oh, Pinevictus has stopped moving. The weapon has stopped spinning. They're being pushed into the wall and shot for good measure.
Let's go wall to wall.
That titanium armor, I think titanium could be AR 500 armor on the top of the wall, is deflecting these hits. Sorry, the top of Pinevictus is deflecting these hits.
All right, Ben might have to just let him stick there for a minute or for the KO count to even happen. If you're actively attacking your opponent, the ref won't start the KO countdown.
There is your winner. The Wall is walking home with a relatively easy win against the former world champion of Pinevictus, the reigning world champion of Pinevictus.
That was some great driving by Alex Wang, but sometimes your robot, things get jostled in all that chaos, especially immediately after he had a moment where he was sort of gliding on his side along the kick plate, ran into the house bot, and it seemed like from there might have been a weird impact or two. that caused it to get knocked out and turned off.
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't usually see Pinevictus go down like that. Let's see if we can pinpoint the moment in the replays.
All right, here's Pinevictus at the start of the fight, sort of taking control. Here is the wall taking shots that don't seem to do really any damage to the top plate.
Well, you know, Dima, sometimes what happens is that armor deflects the actual blade penetration, but that shock still transfers into the inside of the robot and does all sorts of damage. Maybe that's what we saw here today.
Very, very true. Just like your analogy with the fragile vase inside of a less fragile box. The box might be fine, but the vase inside might have got shaken up.
Well, we won't know. Maybe we'll get a chance to look into it in the pits later. But for now, we got to make room in Cage 2 because we got another fight coming up.
We are wasting no time in clearing these folks out, but I think Sam has Alex cage side for a couple quick questions.
Yes, I'm here with Alex Wang, who just lost a tough one to the wall part 2. What happened? You have some serious top armor, but it stopped working.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure. I can't really tell anything visible that happened, and it didn't seem like he really did something that caused it to die. It kind of just randomly stopped. So I'll have to take it upstairs, see what happened, and make sure it doesn't happen next time.
Well, regardless, you have qualified for the Pro Tour in May. Are we expecting to see you there?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, thank you so much. Back to y'all.
Robot fans in the crowd, as always. If you have any spare parts after a fight, there are some fans in the audience that would love to take home a trophy from these lovely events. Hi, folks. Yes, you are on TV.
Yeah, the joy these folks see. It's a pretty packed house tonight. I think everyone's excited to see a lot of great robot action. And when you get to this point of the night, when you make it to NHRL prime time, you know you're surrounded by only the best builders who have really earned that spot. And
ooh, I like this dance.
Great show.
Not to interrupt you, Ricky, but I did not know that the robot fighting fans had moves.
No, it's
not like this.
I feel like this crowd has Toon Force of some variety. I'm hoping for it.
Toon Force, huh? That would be a great name for a bot, honestly.
I would love Toon Force. Big squishy hammer that somehow still like flattens your opponent. That's what we want.
Tom Farkas, are you listening?
Let's go take a look at the pits. See if they're dancing up there too. They look happy. I mean, why wouldn't you be happy? You made it this far. You made it into prime time at NHRL.
Everybody here at the primetime tables is the cream of the crop from this event. They've all migrated their stations up to work in these pits, a little huddled together, slightly more cramped, but we can see them all here, making faces for the camera. Casey back there with Glenn Voxel. All smiles with his drive coach today, his super fan that's been with him all day, cage side, ready for some more action.
I'm hearing the Cage 2 is ready. Let's go check in and see who's fighting. Up first. Oh, look at that little guy.
Oh my goodness.
It's BRZRKR. One of the prettiest robots here, a vicious vertical spinner. And he's going to be going up against
Shadi's girlfriend, Shadi's girlfriend, driven by Shadi himself. This is that sort of interesting vert design that we mentioned, but taking the vert and making it even more compact and letting the wheels be big. Two-wheel drive as opposed to four-wheel drive, you don't really see often on this sloped Lynx-like design. I really like it.
Yeah, it's not a profile that you often see. If you had a silhouette of this in the dark, you could call it out pretty quick.
3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Way we go. That is a nasty spinner on Shady's girlfriend.
Mark Konsberg on BRZRKR has driven his heart out all day with this new robot. I think it's his first event. Let's see, these two new... Okay, BRZRKR has had 4 events, and Shady's girlfriend has had 1 event, so these are 2 pretty fresh bots.
I mean, in addition, they're pretty fresh bots. These are fresh and clean. They're looking sharp. Ooh, a good hit there from BRZRKR on Shady's girlfriend.
BRZRKR's wedge, you'd think would make it more effective against horizontals, but against these verts, it seems to corral it right up into the weapon, especially something angled like Shady's girlfriend. Berserker looks like it has the upper hand when it comes to positioning right now. I want to see it throttle that weapon up and go berserk.
We'll see. Right now, there's an incredible amount of control from Mark Hansberg, the driver of Berserker. Really just doing exactly what he needs to do. Hits like that stack up fast.
Shady's girlfriend weapon was down for a moment. It looks like it's...
Oh, no! Shot! It's puked its batteries across the arena floor. You can see bits and pieces of plastic have been torn from their places.
Backside, back plate completely ripped off. Battery spills right out.
The countdown has begun, but this feels pretty darn obvious.
Doing a little spin of victory, a little berserk spin, a little whirlwind, a little blade storm.
Your winner is Berserker. Mark Hansberg heading on to the nuts round of the tournament.
Top 4 for Berserker.
Very, very impressive.
That was a great fight. I honestly, you asked me going into that, who do I think has the upper hand? I would have said no clue. This one's up to fate. This one's up to the stars above. This is not my fight to call, but call it I did.
Well, Berserker has made it into the semifinals where they're going to fight the Wall, Part 2. We still have to figure out who's going to be facing, who's going to make it into the other half of the semifinal bracket. 4 contenders. Those fights are coming up in just a minute.
We're
first
loading out these two. What a fortune that battery didn't explode either. We might be here a little bit longer.
Potentially, it looked to me from a distance like that battery might be in the process of swelling up.
Don't jinx it. Knock on wood.
It's just happy to see it, Dean. That's all. It's...
Oh!
Yeah, it's... What happens with these batteries, for those that might know, is they're filled with an electrolyte, which is a fancy way of just saying some liquid chemical. And you can see how it was ejected right there. And it's not like it just fell out. It had the robot land on it, right? And when you have different layers of the battery get hit like that, that electrolyte starts to turn into a gas and it starts to swell up like a little balloon. And sooner or later, it tends to pop. And when it pops, it can have a fire. And that's why we need to be careful and get it out of the building as soon as possible. Hopefully they've got that under control. I know they do, in fact. We've got great staff. And speaking of great staff, let's go to Kyle and Adam at the BFS.
Well, thank you so very much. We've got some action going on in the pits right now, desperately trying to get this robot back together. It is a stressful time. So check this out. What do you see going on right here?
Yeah, so this is Gored trying to get the robot back together before they go up against Phenomenon in their next fight. That is a tough matchup. They want to be at 100%. Right now, the robot is in pieces. You can see they have the entire weapon assembly out. That's normally mounted here. All the frame members, the motor, the pulley, the entire weapon assembly has been taken apart. They're rebuilding that. Oftentimes what will happen is enough big hits, that whole system gets a little tweaked. It's not spinning quite right. It's not going up to top speed. You have to rebuild it, and that's tricky. You've got all these belts that need to be tensioned properly. You've got, in this case, it has to come out entirely from the frame. Looks like they're rebuilding the drive on the right side as well. A lot going on in here, getting a great shot at the motors here. They've got a nice Castle weapon motor here. We use those on emulsifier. Beefy electrical connectors in the back. Real good shot here inside of the robot. You can see them assembling the timing belts on the drive on the right side there. And on the weapon, assembling the hub, greasing the bearings as they reinsert it into the frame. Now, depending on how you design these robots, that central shaft on the weapon assembly can actually be a structural member, not just for the weapon, but for the frame itself, adding substantial stiffness, basically turning the whole chassis into a bridge through the top instead of just relying on the base plate.
Now, this is something that I seem to notice is that this is really inexperience showing in some ways, right? You have a robot like Phenomenon, which has been through a lot of tournaments. They figured out how to streamline this process, how to set things up to where tension is already kind of built into the system, right?
So, yeah, it's design for assembly, design for disassembly, and all of this is something you learn over time. The first time you build a robot, you just want to build it. The second time you build a robot, you say, okay, how am I going to work on this in the pits?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. All right, we are going to go to Cage 2 for some more TinyBot action. And to call this action, we are going to go to our friends in the play-by-play booth. Ricky, Dima, let's go.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm really excited for this one. We've been talking about big wheels all day, sort of one of the more interesting archetypes to shake up the meta in the past year and a half. I think they've become more and more prominent. Colossus has made it into the top 8 out of all the big wheels today in the 3-pound bracket versus a classic 4-wheel style vert in the form of Anubis, a consistent competitor throughout the 2025 season, improving every single event that he comes to, and now he's in top 8, fighting for that top 4 spot.
Yeah, it has been quite a rise to fame, and I think pretty well earned, but this is, again, another uphill battle. Colossus has really been hitting hard today, and if Anubis wants to take home a win, they're going to have to stand up to some pretty big blows.
Absolutely. Not only is Anubis strong, it's ridiculously fast. We see a lot of this style of beater have really ridiculously strong drive systems, similar to like Eruption or Warheart or all those. Anubis has joined those ranks of this is a blisteringly fast bot, and if you are not prepared to handle its speed, you're not prepared to fight it.
Oh, I love this geometry, and it's such a nice close-up look. You can see it's 2 motors driving 2 gears, driving 2 other gears that are bolted to each side of that weapon blade. So it's redundant motors, redundant linkages, and it's all plastic, so it all has some flex built in on those.
1. Fight, robots, fight.
Excellent start from Anubis, and a big kick right to the face of Colossus.
There's that speed. I'm going to get in, and if it doesn't look like a bad fight, if it doesn't look like a good hit for me, I'm going to get out. I'm going to go right back in.
These surgical strikes, and then he can't line them up and gets hit.
Yeah, that looked like a bad hit to take. Colossus using its weapon appropriately.
Oh, that caught hard. Really threw Anubis up into the air.
Anubis sounds like its weapon is still doing fine, though.
Yeah, Anubis is very compact. It's very durable. No, hell, I say that. And it's a lot quieter in that arena now.
That damage is clearly starting to accumulate, I think.
4-wheel drive vertical spinners like Anubis are basically the bread and butter victim of a robot like Colossus.
There's the tap
tap out. That is the end of the fight.
Knockout.
Your winner by knockout.
Samuel Herman with Colossus. And Colossus, it feels what a presence in the ring. Anthony's run is over, but I'm sure they will be back in the rest of the season, and I'm sure they will be as consistent as ever in making the power of Anubis known. Anubis, you know, and obviously a classic Egyptian god everybody knows, but would you believe it? It's a JoJo reference, Ricky.
I would not believe it. Nope.
Okay, sorry. Well, like, it
is.
is.
Nope. Move on with your factoids. Would you believe that a factoid was originally a false fact?
I do.
Definitionally.
Sorry, I guess I trust you more than you trust me. But let's take a look at these hits. Let's see the damage that Anubis did accumulate. Getting thrown around a little bit in moments where its weapon seemed like it was still spun up, but that damage added up.
Yeah, Anubis went into this with a strategy for very precise driving, and they pulled it off 5, 6, 7 times. But there were just a couple of sprints, just a couple of strikes where they absolutely ate it. Big blade right to the face, right to the top armor, and unfortunately that added up really fast and knocked him out. We're going to go to Sam. I think he's cage side for more.
I am Ricky, and I am cage side with Anthony from Anubis. Anthony, that was a tough loss against Colossus, but Anubis has been getting better and better every tournament. Do you have more improvements in store for the future?
Yeah, I obviously want to fix whatever he did. There's a new crack that I just noticed. But I need to work on my wedge config because there are some nasty horizontals that are becoming more and more common. And you know, as I want to get better, I'm going to be fighting those really good bots more and more often.
All right, well, thank you so much, and congratulations on qualifying for Pro Tour. Hopefully we will see you in May.
I'll be there.
This is the audience. They're standing by, ready for more action. A bit of a pause, getting ready to load in some more 3-pound robots.
Loving how excited people are to show up for Pro Tour in May.
Big difference in energy coming up next in this 3-pound fight. We're gonna have Chainsaw Kitty going up against Warhard. I guess you could say aesthetically similar robots, right? They've got some design language that they share.
Yeah.
But the attitudes of the drivers very different. Very different people.
Yeah, this is going to be the top, should be the top fight of the 3-pound round. These are two really good robots.
It's insane that this isn't the championship bracket. You know we don't actually script this show because this fight is not the championship fight. It's all down to math and chance in a lot of ways, but I am very excited about this fight.
Yeah,
it
Warhard
could be the best fight of the night.
Taking a year off has kind of messed up the seeding.
Yeah.
Coming in unseeded in this one, throwing things off a bit here.
Jonathan Juarez really needed that time away from the sport. He was just stretching him. He had his Warhard XL line that he was running, as well as this 3-pound line. Taking a little bit of a break and coming in with a fresh mind and a fresh design philosophy. I think he is ready and roaring to go. The bot looks incredible. And look at the configuration he chose for this one. Oh, wait. It's the same configuration he always runs.
Yeah, we've got some barbed ground-hugging forks on Chainsaw Kitty, which we see a lot. And we've got the wedges on the front of Warhard. Let's see what pays off here.
I am really, really looking forward to this first engagement. It's going to tell a lot. But in the meantime, we are going to go to our friends in the play-by-play booth. Ricky, Dima, can you call this action for us?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kyle. It's funny hearing you say you were excited for the first engagement. As you said that, Chainsaw Kitty jumped up a little bit. I looked a little eager. This is going to be a really, really, really interesting fight, and I think a big part of it comes down to weapon geometry and physics that I don't even want to begin to predict. I trust Kazuya's driving as much as I trust the classic legendary Warhard speed. What do you think, Ricky?
It's going to be really interesting, and I think the wild card is what's happened in the break that we've had from the last time that we saw Warhard.
2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. Very slow start from Warhard and a huge hit on Chainsaw Kitty. Absolutely flying into the air once, twice, 3 times.
Kitty's taking these hits. Weapon is still on for now.
Now
that's an answer.
That is an answer. And another answer. Sparks flying off of Warhard, sitting upside down against the arena wall.
There you
Pieces
go.
being torn off.
That looked like Warhard. He tapped the glass. That looked like it was going to be a tap out, and the ref, crossed her fingers. We're not seeing the red. Yep, that's the tap out. We're done. We are done.
A contentious moment.
Amazing driving from Kazuya. That looked really bad, those first 3 hits. You said that 1, 2, 3, but she fired back.
Kazuya used indoor, and it was super effective. It was basically waiting for that right lineup when the geometry favors and seizing it, striking hard. Warhard got torn a new one and just ended up on the side rails with pieces missing.
Ended up on the side rails, and Kazuya didn't think, oh, I'm going to let you call for an unsecond, take a free hit. She just went in and went, boom, I'm going to knock you out.
Now, it's interesting. We've had this happen a few times, Dima. You are not supposed to tap out by tapping on the glass here unless our tap out buttons aren't working. And this has slowed down fights a few times where there's been some ambiguity. Is this fight still going? The driver says, I'm done. They tap out, but they're not hitting the button to make it officially over. Let's take a look and see some of those big hits. There's number 1 with Chainsaw Kitty flying across the arena. And then we cut right to Warhard up against the glass. You can see pieces decisively ripped off. and Warhard sitting lifeless on the arena floor.
I love that moment when Keziah is really waiting just for it to be known and over before celebrating. Just completely locked in until the fight is truly over.
There are no guarantees. It is so crushing to get in a position where you think you won, we can start celebrating, and then to be kicked back. And so I can see why Keziah would want to avoid that. I bet Sam can tell us more. Sam, what do you got?
Yes, I am with Keziah Sky with Chainsaw Kitty. Just won that fight against Warhard. And did that go to plan, Keziah?
Pretty much, yeah.
I know you had expected multiple roof shots, and did they deliver?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
The replay.
All right, well, you're just going to have to watch the replay to see if Keziah got all the roof shots that she wanted. But in the meantime, you've got repairs to do.
Yeah, she's not in too bad a shape, but Colossus, that's not fun. Well,
All right, to Adam and Kyle, thank you, Keziah.
Yeah, Colossus does look scary when you put your weapon motor on top of your robot. A little sketchy there. A little sketchy. We'll see how that goes. All right. We have got fans for days. We've got bots ready to load in. Let's talk about that 12-pound bracket. We've got some awesome 12-pound fights coming your way, and I cannot wait for you to see them. This is a stacked bracket with some really insane fights. Cannot wait to see Liam King, the #1 seed, right there at the top of the bracket with Buzz-Kill, taking on Xenomorph. It's going to be intense.
After that, we've got a cat fight, Robo-Cat going up against Bigheera. And then a hot fight with Carolina Reaper going up against Caldera 12. And last up, we've got That's a Lot of TPU versus Grim Ripper. This is a really interesting one. That's a Lot of TPU, very modern robot, big, wide, fully TPU construction, going up against Grim Ripper, an old school horseshoe crab-shaped undercutter. Who is going to take that one?
All right, we've got our competitors loaded in now. First up, it's Liam King, and it's Buzz-Kill. So excited to see Liam back, #1 seed at this tournament, but he's got to go up. The aliens from space, that's right, David Dyer, and Xenomorph. I love this machine. If it doesn't blow up itself, it blows up the opponent every time. Such a cool robot, and this fight is going to be absolutely explosive.
Let's toss it to the booth. Dima, Ricky, what do you got?
Thank you, Adam. I am so excited to see the #1 seed in Buzz-Kill versus the #3 seed in Xenomorph. This is a run back. Buzz-Kill is actually 2-0 against Xenomorph. And both of those are KOs. They fought at World Champs in 2025, also in primetime.
Yeah.
So we're in primetime again. Let's see if any changes in driving strategy or iterations on the robot will make the difference for Xenomorph.
4, 3,
right now.
2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Interesting new wedge on the front of Xenomorph, but
whoa! Skirted over the low-profile Buzz-Kill. All right, you don't want to gyro too much and give up your back to an undercutter like Buzz-Kill.
Yeah, but you also don't want to gyro not enough and end up with a robot tearing off that wedge.
Buzz-Kill's maneuverability, I think its biggest strength is really coming into play here.
Yeah, these horizontals can literally run circles around their opponent sometimes.
Whoa.
Ooh, and the wedge is gone from the front of Xenomorph.
Wasn't attached tight enough, perhaps.
Sometimes they're set like that on purpose. It's one extra life, but they just spent it, and then they're paying for it. The wheels are starting to get torn up on the right hand of Xenomorph. The treads are mostly gone. What's left is barely working.
It's so hard for Xenomorph to maneuver enough to score the hit on Buzz-Kill that it wants. Now he's doing a good job of trying to back up past Buzz-Kill, so to speak. It's hard to explain.
Well, these little hits are, that was a perfect example of one. It's shredding the tires bit by bit, and it really only takes just a little more on that right side. Oh, that was, and the smoke comes out. That's the weapon motor burning.
This is an Alien versus Predator situation, and Buzz-Kill using all of its weaponry to take out the Xenomorph. meticulously hunting a wounded creature, pushing it into the corner.
Oh my, that weapon is spinning up again, but drive belts are missing. We already had smoke pour out. The movement is barely there.
Calling for an unstick. Help me out of the corner, please. There's movement. That unstick looks completed, but
that may well have made it a little bit worse. The trouble with a lot of these robot designs is it's easier to back up than it is to move. Oh, that did some major arena damage.
Flo pushing the weapon into the kick plate, shredding a big chunk of wood off.
Oh, that does appear to be enough to not get counted out, but only just. And it's at Buzz-Kill's mercy. Oh,
and
these
mercy.
Hits are brutal.
Buzz-Kill's mercy, you say? I don't see any mercy on display here.
Very little mercy in the arena today. Yeah, those wheels are not spinning at all in the back. The belts are askew. The tires are shredded.
Buzz-Kill takes a little victory lap, and there's the knockout count completed. Xenomorph is walking home from top 8, and Buzz-Kill is moving on to the top 4. Little pose for the camera. What a fight. Now 0-3 against Buzz-Kill. How much of that is a matchup problem to be solved, I wonder. Let's see some of those replays. Buzz-Kill takes that wedge off with a sort of side glancing blow. For the rest of the fight, it stays more maneuverable. There's that smoke you mentioned, the weapon trying and failing to stay spun up.
Yeah, really interesting to see that much smoke on a weapon system without a belt, and yet the weapon came back. Very unusual.
Unusual patterns for the unusual robot in Xenomorph. You can see a little bit of the chunks still laying in the arena. Seems like it's mostly pieces of chassis, although I wonder what that black piece is.
Oh, I think that was a wheel hub.
Ah, makes perfect sense. Not too many circular elements on Xenomorph that aren't part of the wheel assembly or the weapon assembly. The weapon assembly remained pretty intact for that fight, but that's not what an undercutter's trying to hurt on the vert. It's trying to hurt the body and do exactly what you said, drive around and cut up the wheels. But I think Sam is cage side with Liam, has some more info for us. Sam, take it away.
Yes, I am cage side with Liam, and Liam, that was some incredible driving in that one. And you came into this tournament as the #1 seed. Is that a lot of pressure for you?
Yeah, it's so much pressure. Oh my God, dude. You know, before this competition, when I found out that I was a #1 ranked 12-pounder as of, February, I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And, telling my friends and my colleagues, like, oh, by the way, I'm the #1 ranked 12-pounder. I'm like, they're like, yo, but being here, dude, having to defend it, that's the hard part. Defending it is the hard part. But, so far, I think I'm doing a pretty all right job. So hopefully I live the #1 seed. You're going.
Well, I think you definitely drove that match like the #1 seed, and good luck with the rest of prime time.
Thank you so much.
All right, back to y'all. Thank you.
Wow, Liam King is just so smooth behind the sticks. That was a perfectly driven match. The new rules come into play, and what does Liam say? Oh, I have to show aggression the entire time? No problem. I'm not even going to put myself at risk once doing that. I will be so smooth with it, and I'll rip tiny chunks off of that robot 50 times over as I do it. Amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Just little bits and pieces coming off those wheels until it couldn't move anymore. Exactly what an undercutter wants to do.
So well driven, and the way he just drifts around the bot, it's impressive. Absolutely incredible. Those wheels are straight wheels. He's not running Mecanum wheels or anything like that. He's just a very, very good driver. Excellent work from Liam King. #1 seed for a reason. We've got more 12-pound robots coming your way right now, actually.
Yeah, it's Robo-Cat versus Bigheera coming up next. Battle of the Cats. Who's going to take it?
I am very excited about that one. All right, so we have our competitors coming to the arena right now. First up, that's right, from UCCR, it is Ben Haas and the Robo-Cat. I love this machine. I love Ben, super nice guy. He's going up against Nick, Andreas, and Bigheera. Cat fight all day long. Two powerful weapons, two really cool drivers. I think this is going to be a nice one. Who's coming out unscratched?
Yeah, let's take a look at the configs here. We've got two hinged forks, solid forks, single hinge on the front here. What are they going up against?
Bigheera. All right, we're going to go ahead to, oh, there you go, tiny little forks. Itty bitty little guys. We're going to go to Ricky and Dima to call this action. Call it for us, guys. What's going on?
Absolutely, Will. My pleasure, and Dima's pleasure, I imagine, as well. Robo-Cat and Bigheera is such an interesting matchup. These are robots that consistently do well, but consistently don't make it to the semifinals. It's a big deal to see them at this point in the competition.
4, 3.
They're really going to be hungry to win this match.
Fight, robots, fight.
If either robot wins, it'll be their first time in top 4, either of them. Nick with Bigheera winning the first engage. Let's see if he can keep up that momentum.
Glancing blow from Bigheera there.
Both of them locking horns with the ground game, but then we see some weapon to weapon. Bigheera looks a little more compact. I wonder.
Oh, and then somersaulting. Robo-Cat, and turnaround is fair play. Oh, goodness, it's done the thing.
You are doing a capital T thing right there.
Yeah, that's as thingy as you can get, I'd say.
Looks like the weapon might be down. I wonder if it died before.
I do see a belt laying in the arena there. It could very well be related.
It could also be it was trying to spin up while the thing was being done and it burnt itself out.
That is another big possibility here. Look at the rake on the weapon on the front of Robo-Cat. It's so much engagement with its opponent when it is spinning, and it looks so unfortunate when it's not. Huge amount of smoke pouring out of Bigheera now.
Even though Robo-Cat's weapon went down first, it's not over till it's over. Maybe Bigheera's weapon is down now too.
It sure appears to be. Now we've got two weaponless robots, and I would say Robo-Cat has a small edge here over Bigheera, just based on geometry.
Geometry, weight, perhaps. With the weapon down, things drive a little differently. I wonder who wins the pushing matches that are inevitably going to happen now. Here we have one right here. Shrug each other off. Looks
now
like
Bigheera's winning the pushing match. Very interesting.
Oh, that's a great place to put your your opponent.
It's an excessively good play. Oh, they lost it. That's tragic.
Do it again. Do it again.
And they've done it again. Now, Robo-Cat is already burnt. They're on stick. If they can't free themselves here in the next 10 seconds, it's going to be all she wrote for Robo-Cat.
Nick is not like Keziah. Nick is celebrating before the match is called. He knows the result, and he knows he's going to top 4, and he knows he's qualifying for Pro Tour.
That's a big personal ceiling for Bigheera, for Nick Andreas. Unfortunately, it comes on the back of the defeat of Robo-Cat. Ben Haas has had that opportunity ripped from him, but boy, did Nick earn it tonight.
Nick did absolutely earn it.
And it was so close. He had that earlier in the match. He could have won if he had just been able to extract himself a little more carefully. He would have won in a previous exchange, but he was able to immediately repeat and win that match.
Yeah, you see the start of this replay. He couldn't get out of the corner without also removing his opponent off the kick plate, but then just turns around and shoves him right back up there. That's some good wrestling. I know a thing or two about good wrestling. That was some good wrestling.
That is some good wrestling.
Jumping for joy, kicking the ground, screaming his head off. I can't blame him.
Hard earned. I love that this stick has been getting so much action.
It looks like a fire poker.
It does look like a fire poker. It looks like a fire poker made from garbage. It's not far off from what it is, but it's so effective at corralling these robots and getting them out of the arena. I'm sorry, folks. I'm nerding out over our homemade tools.
No, please.
The fact that we have a building full of the best tools money can buy and that we still like the garbage stick touches something deep in my dumpster diving core.
Isn't that engineers, though? You guys are always building the most complicated machines ever. the most complicated limit-pushing machines that your brain can imagine.
And then we use a stick. Have I shown you my neat rock collection?
We're humans.
Yeah, shiny things.
We're cave people originally. We're cavemen and women and others.
Cave people.
Cave people.
We're going to head over to Sam, who's going to save ourselves from ourselves. Sam?
Yes, thank you, Ricky. I am here with the victorious Nick from Crafty Cat Combat. And congratulations on qualifying for the Pro World Championship at the end of the year. Were you scared when your weapon went down in that match?
I've had a lot of weapon issues. I saw that puff of smoke. I was petrified. I 100% thought he was going to win the match at that point. So to get him back up on the wall when he'd already used his unstick, I was so happy.
Well, amazing. Way to hang in there, and good luck at the end of the year.
Thank you.
All right, back to y'all at the desk.
There's a nice shot of our very enthusiastic audience. A lot of these folks have been with us since this morning. They've got a lot more action left to come. 12-pound bracket looking fun. Looking fun today.
Yeah, a lot of action happening, a lot of robots getting thrown. You know, I was handed this sign.
A robot
before. I
handed
think
you that sign,
a robot handed me this sign. A lot of people enjoy our box crew here and the broomsticks, keeping the arena clean and ready to go for the next fight. I think the fans like the next fight, too.
My wife calls them the broom zonies. Anyway, let's go look up at the pits right now. Prime time pits. People are working feverishly to get their bots ready for the next fight. Here's Keziah trying desperately to get this bot prepared for an overhead, or sorry, a big wheeled spinner.
Oh, she looks cool, calm and collected, getting that battery ready.
Can't ask for a better pit crew person than Gwen, literally walking around with a toolkit on her hip. Gwen's the best. But yeah, this bot is, it's not, there wasn't too much damage done in that last fight, I don't think.
And as a veteran competitor here, that robot is dialed in, not just in the arena, but also in the pits. You can see a much smaller pit crew here than the last time we were looking at the repairs. They're happening a lot more calm here as they get this ready, change up the config for the anti-big wheel.
But right now, loading into Cage 1, we've got a hot fight. That's right. Carolina Reaper, Mark Harrison, loading in right now. He's from Raleigh, North Carolina. Love this robot, Big Wheels of Doom. And right now from Marlborough, Massachusetts, that's right, it's the Pit Dad from Too Hot to Handle, Glenn Boxall and Caldera, 12. One of these bots is too high on the Scoville scale. One of these bots is literally the Caldera of the volcano.
That's Noah Casey there. Glenn brought Noah along. Noah's a super fan of Caldera. Went to every NHRL event last year as a fan. Glenn brought him along as a teammate all day today. He's been here cheering on Glenn, his favorite robot. How many steps do you think he's got with all those jumps, Kyle?
I mean, it's amazing. He's literally never stopped moving since the day has begun. I think that kid's burned 6,000 calories just being cage side, hyping up the crowd for Glenn.
Oh, it's going to be hard to root against that.
This is going to be an epic fight. Two really cool robots, very different design philosophies, very different drive philosophies.
This is always a tough matchup for a big wheel going up against a horizontal. Glenn isn't the biggest horizontal with Caldera 12, but it will chew up those wheels.
100%. And to call this action, we are going to go to the play-by-play booth with Ricky and Dima.
I am hyped for this one, Kyle. Nothing more entertaining than the classic matchup of a big wheel against a big horizontal.
Like the tag said a moment ago, these two did meet in November, and Caldera did win by JD. So this is a run back.
4, 3, 2, 1. Fight, robots, fight.
Caldera up, quick spin up, big hit weapon to weapon on Carolina Reaper. Carolina Reaper's weapon is now down, at least momentarily.
They were smashing each other. Caldera didn't seem affected by that impact, didn't move.
Not in the least. Now,
It's
the weapon
moving
is
now.
spinning again on Carolina Reaper, but do we think... Yeah, that is definitely powered weapon spinning.
Absolutely.
But those wheels are looking certainly worse for wear. Oh, they are not spinning at all now. That is a tap out. Your winner in a very decisive match, Glenn Boxall and Caldera 12.
Glenn jumping alongside Noah. That joy is infectious. Crowd loves Glenn just as much as I do. I'm a real big Glenn head. I like those chants. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Some classic hooliganism.
High fives all around for the little man. Man, what a great day he must be having.
I thought I would come here. I think I'm having the most fun. There's always somebody having a little more fun than I am.
You can't compare yourself to others, Demon. You just got to be happy in your own skin, and I hope you are with that level of happiness in front of you. You just got to feel that joy, let it soak into you, and try to get some
photosynthesize,
empathetic, compersion type joy, absorbed from the world around you.
Absolutely. He's there holding the cage open too.
Keep
being the hype
get
man.
enough. Okay, at this point it's greedy, kid.
No, there's no such thing as too much hype. I'm with him.
Okay, all right.
Just
if you've stamped it for approval, Dima, I can understand.
I approve all the hype men here at NHRL.
Fair enough.
Another KO for Caldera. Going from a 21-5 total KOs, both given and received, to 22-6. Sam is cage side with Glenn and Noah, and I want to hear what they have to say.
I sure am. Glenn, you brought a secret weapon to this tournament. Can you talk about it a bit?
Oh, man, I have brought in the most high-energy young man I could find around here, and he has been getting me through all day long. I can't say enough about Noah.
And Noah, as a secret weapon, what do you bring to the Caldera team?
Caldera won.
Yes, that's right, he did. Great job. Nice. And Glenn, thank you so much. We'll see you in another fight. Back to y'all.
That was maybe the most heartwarming squash match I've ever seen. It was just so sweet. And you were cheering for the overdog in that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. A lot of core memories getting made today. I think he's going to remember that for a long time.
Yeah, that was really cool. All right, so up next we have the most, I guess, interesting fight in the 12-pound bracket. That's a lot of TPU going up against Grim Ripper 12, Nelson Byros.
Yeah.
Cool robot, but very old school in its design.
Old versus new. Now, both of these are actually new robots, but Grim Ripper really taking a traditional approach with the shape, this kind of conical, cut-off, sort of horseshoe crab armor you're going to see with an undercutter blade, going up against the largest 12-pounder we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. It's big for a 30.
Yeah, entirely neon orange TPU with the largest flipper I've ever seen in the center. The newest type of strategy, the newest manufacturing methods, going up against a well-built, old-school robot. This is going to be a lot of... Look at the size difference.
So insane. All right, so let me introduce you to these bots. You can see the orange cat himself. That's a lot of TPU.
It
Big
really
wide
is.
body. Look at all those little forks. It's got so much ground game, nobody's getting under it. And the patriarch of the skeleton crew, it's Nelson Byros, and it's Grim Ripper 12. You gotta love the etching on this armor. This bot looks vicious. He's always in there with the styling on this thing.
It looks vicious. It is vicious.
Absolutely.
A lot of TPU to tear up.
Weird little matchup.
4, 3,
Let's go ahead and get this fight going right now.
Fight, robots, fight.
And we are off. Ooh, excellent flip there from That's a Lot of TPU. They have really been dialing up their aggression all day long. This is an all-new driving style from That's a Lot of TPU. Immediately flipping Grim Ripper up against the arena wall.
Stopping the unstick before it's even called for, by the way.
That is the most aggressive. Look at chewing a hole in our floor as it holds the house spot in place.
You'll notice those wheels do have cleats. Okay, the unstick is called for. The house spot instantly just blitzes past. That's a lot of TPU. Would freeze Grim Ripper. Even though it's upside down, Grim Ripper can still drive plenty fine.
Oh, look at that angle on the weapon of That's a Lot of TPU. Grim Ripper could slice that right off. And they get about a third of the way through it. That is a lot of damage on that weapon already. Oh, smoke is emanating from Grim Ripper now.
A lot of it, too. That's not a little bit of smoke.
And a little flash of flame as well.
I wonder if that was from getting smashed up against the wall like it did. Just that push to the kick plate. Looking for another flip, looking to get you stuck one more time. You don't got any more unsticks. All right. Every time. There we go.
There's the flip.
He went back in. 8.
Not
9.
leaving well enough alone by any means.
It looks like he's a little too stuck to release that pin
stuck.
too.
This might not be an intentional pin at this point.
Calls for his own unstick, and the house bot unsticks him while avoiding touching Grim Ripper, so Grim Ripper's still stuck. There's the KO count starting. Shaking his head a little bit. This one must hurt a little bit.
Knockout.
And there's the knockout. That's a lot of TPU using its lifter to inflict harm, causing a KO. That's a lot of TPU drivers are moving on to top 4. That's got to feel good with how decisive that was, how quick it went.
You know, it's been a really interesting thing we've seen today. That's a lot of TPU showed up this morning, and they had some adjustments they had to make in order to be legal to run in our event today.
Well, you'd know better than anybody else.
They made these adjustments, and it's amazing the difference it's made. I can see here, seeing what they were before and what they are now. This fight we just saw against Grim Ripper would not have happened if those forks hadn't been modified. And not to mention the aggression and the just new driving style we're seeing out of That's a Lot of TPU really elevates their ability to win matches like this. Not just win them, but win them in an exciting and decisive manner.
I'm a little partial to the monochrome bots, but the repeated baleen pattern on the forks on all different sides. You have the inner forks, which have a split. You have the middle forks and the outer forks, which have all different distances between the baleens. I wonder how they sort of got to those decisions of why and how much distance to apply between the forks. But whatever they did and why they're doing it, it's working. Selfishly, I may just be curious for myself. I really, really, really do like that robot. Low robot fighting fans. Sam is Capeside with Dan to explain a little bit more about That's a Lot of TPU.
Yes, I'm here with Dane, who just won another match. Dane, were you worried about fighting under the new rule set?
I was terrified, honestly. We barely made it through safety with all the new rules. We came here not really knowing any. It was extremely tough, especially when we saw Grim Ripper. I was absolutely terrified.
Well, you've been driving every match flawlessly. Keep it up, and congratulations on qualifying for the Pro Tour and the World Championship.
Thank you so much.
All right, back to y'all.
Dane looking strong with that robot. And you know, sometimes limitations make you advance a little bit, make you stretch yourself, make you try a little bit harder.
How do you win with a control bot, Kyle? You just get knockout after knockout after knockout.
That's what I love to see. Dane is upping his knockout counter on the records every single matchup. We're going to talk right now, though, about the brackets as they stand. We are going into the end game for all of these brackets right now. So we are going to look first and foremost at the 3-pound bracket. What do you see, Adam?
Well, I see the wall still being an unstoppable force in our brackets.
They're going to be going up against the very well-designed BRZRKR. I'm so excited about that matchup. But down below is my most interesting matchup. It is the place where we could get an upset. Yeah, the very high-ranked Chainsaw Kitty going up against Colossus. Not a great design for them to face.
Colossus has looked great all day. Really interesting configurations. What are they going to pull out of their bag for Chainsaw Kitty?
And is Chainsaw Kitty finally going to protect that weapon motor on top of the robot? Probably not.
Probably not.
Let's talk about the 12-pound bracket as we sit in it. Right up there at the top, we've got Buzz-Kill taking on Bigheera. Man, Liam King has been looking like a beast all day. That machine driving flawlessly. He's just so smooth with it.
And we just saw That's a Lot of TPU take out Grim Ripper to get the final spot against Caldera 12. That's a Lot of TPU has knocked out every opponent I've seen all day long. Can they knock out Caldera 12?
It'd be amazing to see Dean Hardage driving his heart out today. And yeah, the new rule set, the new limitations have upped the level of game for that team like you wouldn't believe.
Can we win a judge's decision? Who knows? Let's just knock them all out.
Yeah, don't let it go to the judges, right? Number one rule. All right, and in the 30-pound bracket, it is sure to be an explosive fight right off the bat. We've got Kazalight, returning defending world champion, taking on Maccabot. Massive weapon on that thing.
Both those robots won their first fight by forfeit.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the first time we're going to get to see them tonight in prime time, and it should be spectacular. The other fight, Phenomenon versus Gored, two high-powered vertical spinners.
Yeah.
Going to be sending each other into the ceiling.
Very big difference in experience between those two teams, but very similar design pattern. Big weapons, big drive. So excited to see it.
I think we could see an upset there with Gored looking really good today.
Absolutely. They had every single hand inside of that robot when we saw them up in the pits earlier. Check out our audience for prime time. These folks are ready to go. A lot of them have been with us since 10 o'clock this morning when this tournament started today, and they are still pumped. They're still ready to go. Come on by if you're ever near the House of Havoc. We've got hot dogs. We've got a full-service bar. We've got everything you need here.
We're going on 10 hours of robot fighting today, and we've still got more.
I am so excited to see how it goes into this next tournament. It is the end game. Every single bot that you're going to see has already qualified for the Pro World Tour Championships. I am so excited.
December is going to be fun, but tonight is going to be amazing as we try to hand out 3 golden dumpsters.
Have there been any upsets that have really shocked you tonight?
I mean, there's always so many shocking upsets, but I think the best upsets are probably yet to come.
I agree with that 100%. All right, let's go ahead and meet our builders as we go into the 30-pound finals. I am so excited. First up. Oh, there they are. The boys are back in town. It's Kazalight, Joshua Reinhardt, and his tag team partner, Peter Garnash, ready to go with a lot of fire.
And the trademark chair.
And they'll be facing from New York, New York. It's Max Renas and Maccabot. Just a classic machine, big, scary drum, excellent drive.
And a lot of shiny heat tape to deflect those flames from Kazalight.
And our fire marshals are moving the crowd away from the box, because you know what? It's going to get hot. Kazalight likes to form these flame tornadoes in the arena up against these opponents. And it's always a good show. Joshua Reinhardt is an amazing driver, and he's got his secret weapon, Peter Garnash, with him today. They work so well together.
We're going to hand it to Ricky D in the booth to call this one.
Yeah, happy to call this for you. Let's take a moment to explain what's happening here. So we do a lot of effort to make sure these cages are safe, make sure that we can house fire robots safely, but there are still rules and laws that we have to abide by until we continue to work on legislation that lets us get exemptions, and one of them is the distance from the arena, which is why people are being moved backwards. It's a minimum distance. With that said, let's go to the tail of the tape and see who we've got.
We've got Joshua Reinhardt driving Kazaa Light alongside Peter, who we did mention. He's out of Norwich, Connecticut, and he himself is the reason why we have the cage management that we're doing right now, because he is a double flamethrower, and he's got a big tank to blast Maccabot.
Yeah, and Maccabot, his opponent from Max Renas, coming just up the road from New York. This vertical spinner is all about power. It hits hard, and it hits fast, and it can do a heck of a lot of damage. The question is, can it damage both sides of Kazaa Light before it gets barbecued? We're going to find out in just a moment.
Worth noting that Kazaa Light is the #1 seed and the world champion for the 2025 season. Maccabot is #5 seed and no slouch.
You can see our cage staff is standing by, prepped in a fire mask to be able to pull out any sort of smoking or flaming or otherwise.
Sorry, it was a long shot. I was trying to
check it out. That is some distance we've got to maintain there. It is something, even though it is safe, if you are up close, you can feel the heat on your face. That really does radiate off. It is really impressive how much energy is in these flamethrowers, and the fact that they can direct it at their opponents is, well, it makes for a deadly combo, as we can see in the #1 ranked Kazaa Light.
Not only the flamethrowers, we saw a lot of Clyde on stream today. We saw some impressive flame from a 3-pound bot. The bigger the bots get, the more impressive the flames get too. I'm really excited to see what difference that tape might make on Maccabot. I'm curious to see if Kazaa Light is able to get the upper hand, what will start melting first. I'm also curious to see if Maccabot is going to be able to get a great angle and sort of rip the top off of Kazaa Light.
3, 2, 1. Fight. Robots fight.
Oh, this port's very effective, but Maccabot still, that is a lot of fire.
Here we go.
Oh, and Kazaa Light goes flying.
Maccabot not right side up, getting stuck on the kick plate too, where Max does not want to be.
Oh, that is quite a barbecue. Both halves of Kazaa Light just torching from all angles. They can only hold that for 10 seconds.
Both segments of Kazaa Light holding Maccabot up in a sort of spit roast configuration. Wow.
Look at the flames tornadoing around the weapon of Maccabot.
The most vulnerable part, I think, by far on Maccabot in that situation is the wheels. And you can see after the pin was released, it was still on fire for a brief moment. That heat does linger.
Yeah, that heat builds up moment after moment, and it takes minutes or hours to go away. So over the course of a 3-minute match, you can get things hot, and it will not cool down.
That is a lot of flame wrapping around Maccabot.
And the flame-proof tape is on fire.
Even if we don't see things melting ASAP, those internal components are getting literally cooked. Now the flame is going under too, where I'm sure there's no tape under that.
About halfway through the match, but there's a couple of good hits. I've noticed Maccabot has slowed down a lot, though. I don't know if that's intentional or a result of the damage from this flame. Ooh, a big, nice hit on Kazaa Light. They go flying, at least half of them does. And now Maccabot slowing down to a crawl, the weapon not moving at all. Flame continuing to just linger on the front.
Calling for an unstick before the KO count starts. Seeing if getting jostled by the house bot does anything. Flo,
it
save
did
me.
a little. I saw a twitch of movement, but it's not going to be enough. This countout is going to start.
The crowd is quiet.
Not before Kazalite comes in for, oh, it's back! It's back, Dima, at least for a moment.
Yeah, but they're teeing up that configuration they had earlier
There's
where they're
a
both on either
glint
side.
of life left in that bot, Dima. There's still hope. I want to believe.
There's hope, but then Josh comes in and sets you on fire again. Here's the KO count.
It is
2, 1. There we go, and our first finalist for the end of the 30-pound bracket is decided. Joshua Reinhardt and Peter Ganache move on.
This punches them a ticket. Well, they already had a ticket punch, I should say, to the World Tour event. And this, however, gets them one step closer to the World Tour Championship and helps them protect that #1 seed they have coming into this year. Let's look at how it all went down in this fight.
That first engage was pretty rough for Maccabot. They sort of got kicked up and then landed right on top of both halves of Kazalite. Kazalite got to dictate the positioning for most of this fight. Even when Maccabot's drive was consistent, the geometry of Kazalite is so hard to deal with. If you see it fight multiple times, you'll see that happen over and over again, where it's really hard to tussle with those forks, and even if you're able to, it's really flat and low to the ground, and as soon as you start dealing with one properly, the other one comes up right behind you, disrupts your game plan. Man, Kazalite is good.
It really is. You can see we got a shot there of our state folks. We've also got people from the city, people from the state police, all sorts of people required by law to be here, and we do it all because of that glorious amount of flame that we just had in that match.
I would say we do it all for you folks, but pretty selfishly, we're doing it for us too. Because let's not pretend that we do not also love seeing those flamethrowers blast other bots.
It is stunning and it is delightful. I can't deny that I'm probably the happiest person in the building when this happens.
Sometimes my coworkers will ask me, "Oh, is it a lot of spinning metal weapons in that sport?" And I say, "Bro, look at this."
Yeah.
And I pull up a video of Kazalite or Clyde, and they're typically very, very impressed, and they would have said, "How does that work? How do you get a flamethrower working?" And I say, "Well, there's different ways." And then I start explaining a little bit, and then I start getting a little in the weeds, and they start getting bored. But
their eyes glaze over, and they wander off. Or you say, "More fire, please," and then you bring them back. Let's go cage side. I think Sam is standing by with Joshua.
Yes, I am with Joshua, the reigning champion of the 30-pound class, and I just have one simple question. Are you unstoppable?
Everyone can be stopped. Somebody compared us to Godzilla earlier, so somebody's just got to find a way to take down Godzilla. You know, whoever's the next big person, there's always somebody out there creating new ideas to take them down. So.
All right, well, you've got two potential opponents in your path, Phenomenon and Gored.
I've wanted to fight Phenomenon for a long time, so I hope we finally fight. So it sounds like he's not super ready to fight today, but either way, it'd be nice to fight some new people. So.
All right, well, here's hoping you get what you want, and good luck going forward, and congrats on qualifying for Pro Tour and for the World Championship at the end of the year.
I'm excited.
All right, thanks. Back to y'all.
All right, let's take it right up to the pits where we've got some repairs going on.
So this is Buzz-Kill. Looks like screwing on the wedge here, doing a little bit of fine tuning. Not any huge repairs that I can see right now. That's probably pretty good news. Looks like he's on his own right here. Doesn't have a lot of pit crew. Just finishing things up and getting ready. Great to see the robot isn't completely disassembled. We saw Gored earlier getting a total ground up redo. When you get that deep into your robot, sometimes you can mess things up. When all you need to do is some surface repairs, usually in a better spot.
Yeah, there was barely any visible damage to this robot after their last fight, so not surprising. Plus, Liam's a pro. He's been doing this for so long now, literally grown up in this sport.
Yeah, just getting some fresh screws in there, get rid of all those stress fractures and make sure you're fresh. Calm, cool, and collected.
As it should be. Two versions of the bot pretty much ready to rock and roll. very excited to see how this 12-pound bracket turns out today.
When you've got one robot totally built up and you're working on your second spare robot and you're in the semifinals, that's a pretty good spot to be.
It's not a bad spot to be. I think the last time Liam won a golden dumpster, wasn't it his birthday?
That is a nice present.
Not a bad present, yeah, that you earned yourself. So, you know, maybe we'll see a little repeat of that pre-birthday this year, but pretty cool nonetheless. So we've got some more 30-pound action coming your way very shortly. So let's go ahead and meet those next competitors. So, from Bowie, Maryland, and Team Bone Dead Robotics, it's Brandon, Bennett, Young, and Phenomenon. This bot's got 2 weapons, and it don't care. It don't care who it has to face. It's going home with a dumpster today if it can. Brandon's had some rough fights, but that last fight he had, he looked dialed in.
Doesn't matter how you start the day, it matters how you finish.
Amen. And his opponent from Terre Haute, Indiana, it's Carter Kurtz. And it's Gored.
Look at that, it's in one piece again.
Looking good, looking good. Gored, of course, spelled G-O-R-E-D. It is not a gourd as in you would eat it from your garden. It is gored as in it's gonna gore you with its large, scary spinning weapon.
We got 2 fairly similar robots here. Vertical discs, double hinged arms here. You can see they have wedgelet tips on the end that are hinged independently of the main fork, slightly differing lengths. It's going to be interesting here to see whose setup works better. The side armor is similar, a little bit different in scale here. Of course, Phenomenon has the lifter self-righting arm
Big
combo.
help there, yeah. All right,
Could
let's
that
look at
be
the tail of the
difference?
tape between these 2 machines. Phenomenon, Brandon Bennett Young from Bowie, Maryland. He's a levert/lifter, and his skill, determination.
Gored, on the other hand, driver Carter Kurtz out of Terre Haute, Indiana, a vertical spinner. The skill, size.
It's a big boy.
Just
It's
a little
got a
bit
big
bigger.
weapon. It's a big boy.
Similar, but bigger.
Yeah, I like it. Its record is 2-1 for the day. Brandon Bennett Young, of course, coming into this one with a 28-25 record with Phenomenon. Phenomenon is not the only bot that Brandon Bennett Young runs, but I would say it's the most iconic. We're going to show you this action right up in the cage.
5,
The ground
4,
game is going to tell the tale here, and this first impact is going to tell us a whole lot.
Oh, Phenomenon getting under, but not able to deliver a hit. Their weapon isn't working.
No, there seems to be some belt issues.
Oh, Gored takes advantage and sends him into the corner. Oh, no. This has not been Brandon Bennett Young's day, and this is not his fight. Gored taking advantage and tearing off the forks.
And you can hear the confidence of Gored as that weapon spins up.
Brandon Bennett Young spinning off the disc on Phenomenon. Can they get some payback here? Or the forks too? Oh!
Nasty hit there. Will that weapon spin up again after that?
The ground game is all Gored right now as Phenomenon is torn up. Oh, but the weapon is now down on Gored.
So now Gored being the bully in the box, throwing Brandon Bennett Young around. The ground game totally destroyed on
full
Phenomenon.
Distance wall slam, and Phenomenon is stuck. They're gonna need to use an unstick.
Look at that bottom plate. Look at the fork is gone. The condition of that robot is not great.
There's the unstick request as they're unable to free themselves. Flo, the house robot, coming out to attempt the unstick. Got 20 seconds here.
This is a tricky position. There we go, able to use that.
Very well
self-righting
done.
arm.
That was smooth.
Oh, and another immediate wall slam. Looks like the arm is stuck. And this could be it with a minute left in the fight. Phenomenon has no chance to get out of this.
Plenty of time to get the count out. I gotta say, very polite of the boys from Indiana to just pin him right up by the door.
They're so confident they immediately backed up, ready to take it out. They're ready for the finals.
Well, that went their way. That went their way. By the way, I'd like to correct the record. Apparently it's Terre Haute, Indiana.
Terre Haute, Rose Holman University making it to the finals. Way to kick off 2026 for them.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. So we're going to look at some replays of this action.
Bam,
there was a
right
big
out of the gate.
tangly mess right at the beginning.
Phenomenon unable to spin up early on, and once they could spin up, they had no ground game to take advantage.
Yeah, and from that point on, you know, both weapons ended up going down, and it came down to who had ground game left and that powerful drive.
Wow, usually those moments are where Phenomenon's lifter stick really comes in and makes a difference, but it was also down, and with the forks disabled, Gored took advantage. But will they be able to repair it? We saw earlier today they had to take the entire robot apart to rebuild that weapon, and the weapon died again.
It gave them everything they needed for this fight, but they're going to head into the finals.
And I think we've got Sam over there for an interview with the winners.
Yes, I am with Carter from the Gored. And Carter, we expected some impact from Gored going into this tournament, but did you expect to make it all the way to the finals today?
No, I did not. I thought we would do pretty well. We had some previous fights last year that we performed pretty well. And I just wanted to have fun today, and we went all out, so.
All right, well, you've got one bot left to fight, and it's Kazaa Light. You got a plan for that one?
Same as before. Let's just hope our weapon doesn't go down again.
All right, well, thank you very much. Back to you, gentlemen.
That's a wholesome fella right there, Carter. I like it.
Yeah, I think he's excited to be in the finals, and who wouldn't be? But they have a challenge out for them. No one has been able to take down Kazaa Light in months.
Yeah, reigning, defending world champion for a reason in the big boy weight class here. That bot is nigh unstoppable, and I gotta say, statistically speaking, when they've got Peter Garnache behind the sticks as well, that really adds a whole lot to their chances.
Statistically, he's very good.
There you see our audience is waiting for more action. We've got 3-pound robot action coming your way. Let's see how we got to this place in the tournament.
The Wall taking out Pinevictus to earn their way in the top 4, going up against BRZRKR. They look unstoppable. This is going to be a tough matchup. And Colossus versus Chainsaw Kitty on the other side of the bracket, equally tough. Everyone at the top of their game, and a lot of different types of robots here. So a pretty diverse field in the threes.
Really looking forward to seeing it. Our competitors, I believe, are ready to go for this top of the bracket 3-pound fight in Cage 2. And I can't wait to see it. So first up, let's meet the builders. Number 1 coming out of the box from Rhode Island. It's Ben Hoxie from Team Pandemonium and his robot, The Wall, Part 2.
The small estate making a very large robot.
It is a big boy for this weight class. Forks, overhead attack, and that impenetrable wall up front. From Hewitt, New Jersey, it's Mark Kansberg. And his beautifully designed little machine, it's BRZRKR.
I love those horns.
I know, practical, stylish, it's armor, it's self-righting, it's everything you want, and it's shiny and gold.
And to call the action, we're going to hand it over to Dima and Ricky in the booth.
Thank you, Adam. I am really, really, really excited to see two beautifully visually designed robots go up against each other. The wall has sort of been tested with its bad matchups all day against these verts. And interestingly, this might be the first time I've seen BRZRKR against the Hammer Saw. I do think it fought Mako earlier today, but we didn't see that on stream. Beating Mako, I think, should give you the confidence to be able to drive aggressively against the wall, but the wall's not a multi-bot, and that absolutely changes the equation, especially when it
Hugely
comes
different equation. Let's look at the equation on screen. Speaking of the wall, Ben Hoxie has brought it from Rhode Island. This is a hammer saw that is shuffling, so it has a weight bonus. It has a very impressive 29-8 record, and it is big. It's hard to get over, and these forks on the front are absolutely smothering.
But in the blue corner, we got Mark Kansberg coming out of Hewitt, New Jersey, with a very, very, very compact vert in the form of BRZRKR. Its skill is labeled as small and shifty. Like I said, it's compact, but its drive, its four-wheel drive with the big rear wheels, makes it really hard to pin down. I think that's going to be the test that Ben has to face. Can you pin down BRZRKR enough to get that kill shot that you need? And can you protect your saw arm from a shifty, highly mobile BRZRKR that's going to just tear up anything you give it? This is the kind of robot, if you give it an inch, it's going to take a mile.
It's going to leave that little mile a little worse for wear afterwards, too, I bet. I'm really interested to see what happens in the geometry of this fight. The front forks on the wall, how are they going to handle this wedge in front of BRZRKR?
1. Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. Cautious start from BRZRKR, and immediately up on the forks.
There's that pin.
Oh, a big hammer saw hit.
Some methodical driving, I think. It looks a little slow, but I think it's shuffling. It's shuffling well, and it's winning the pushing matches. All right, here's that vert action though, knocking the wall around, and in that scramble, able to land some damage on the arm itself. Ooh. Another shot. I wonder if the horns pretty much block it though.
The horns are somewhat functional. They offer a lot of armor. Even armor that isn't super durable still helps.
It's about yeah, it's about preventing reach as well. Like if you can't get through the horns, you can't get to the center.
Exactly. This gooey nougat at the middle of BRZRKR remains unharmed.
At least for now.
Oh, a big, big hit there on the top, but it remains to be seen if it did any real damage. Interesting, the blade on the wall part 2 has only been running for like half the hits it's landed so far.
Yeah, it seems like the motor itself is a little vulnerable.
That was a good hit and almost a good shot at the underside of BRZRKR. That's what the wall really wants to do here. Circumvent that horn situation entirely and just land a good kill shot on the underside of BRZRKR.
It does look like it was trying to go for some hits to the weapon assembly there. Hard to blame it at this point in the fight where you need to make damage happen.
Oh, that was a good deep hit, Dima.
I heard that. That was crunchy.
Very satisfying. Especially if you are the wall part 2.
All right, Ben, you got a minute left.
These glancing blows, I'm really, really impressed with how the seemingly artistic armor on the front of BRZRKR is shaking off these hits.
Form and function.
Oh, I think I saw a belt come loose on BRZRKR. I don't know if that's a drive belt or a weapon belt.
The weapon looks like it's not spinning right now. I think it's weapon.
I think you are right, Dima. I think you are right. The wall lining up hit after hit, but very rarely using the spinner in these hits. I don't know if it's having trouble. That's going to count against it when the condition score comes out. If you're not proving that that weapon is useful,
Even
the
if
way it's designed. Even if you're hitting over and over again with an arm. Oh, is it pinned? Yes.
That's a great place to leave Berserker, though. Even though the unstick attempt is called for, the match is over.
The
0
match
seconds.
is over.
I'm really curious as to how the judges are going to score
We're going to do
that.
a quick prove-it period here. The two are going to try and demonstrate their remaining functionality just for the clarity of the judges.
All right, let's show us. Berserker's weapon looks down, and it looks like the wall's arm is up, but the motor that spins the blade itself, that looks down.
It does. It does seem that way. It's twitching. It has some twitch to it, but it is effectively down.
All the shufflers on the wall look undamaged. Berserker's drive also looks undamaged, though. So pretty even on condition, I think. Maybe the wall sort of edges it out because it's a two-motor-based weapon and one of the motors is still working.
It'll give it a little bit of an advantage, but maybe a point.
Yeah.
Not the... Even if that blade had been spinning a little bit, if it could be considered effectual, then, you know, it may have had a little bit better luck, but not at the end. And we've been seeing that from the wall all day. That weapon just doesn't seem to make it and it doesn't seem to go the distance in these fights, excuse me.
Yeah, it seems like when the wall wins, it's winning off of its geometry, its wallness, so to speak. It's winning off of that smothering quality that it has. And it is able to attack, and but even when the weapon is down, or the hub motor is down, not a hub motor, but a motor, you're still able to jam that weapon into crucial points. That took a belt off.
It did, and I'm wondering, some of these hammer saws probably have enough oomph in that arm to actually pass the functionality tests just with the hits.
Yeah, they're even when the saw is down, the hammer portion of the hammer saw is still affecting the fight significantly. Sometimes it clamps down and holds somebody in place. Sometimes it can act as a sort of suplexing arm, and sometimes like there, all you need to do is stick metal where your opponent does not want you to stick metal, and take belts out.
Yeah,
that was really impressive.
It's basically the most you could possibly show with a damaged weapon. It's incredibly precise usage. Bravo, Ben Hoxie is just showing how it's done.
He's been really iterating on these hammer saws. Besides the wall part 2, he also has crumple stilt skin, which I am very much a fan of, and a totally different aesthetic from the wall. Hi, Robot Fighting fans.
We are coming down on the end. Of course, we've got to wait for the judge's decision on this. I think it's going to be pretty resounding. But while we wait, we're going to go back to Adam at the wall.
Thank you, Ricky. I hear the judge's decision is on the way, but I kind of have an inkling.
Yeah, I was going to say that shouldn't be taking them that long, quite frankly. It seemed pretty apparent to me, but you know, I'm not a judge. Thank goodness.
Got to hand it to him, sustaining all those hits from the wall, keeping it going to the 3 minutes.
There we have it.
Impressive, but the wall is going to take the unanimous decision, as I think we all expected. Congrats to Berserker making it to the Pro World Championships, but congrats to the wall making it to the finals and trying to take a golden dumpster later tonight.
Coming solidly out of the middle of the card, the wall part 2 and Ben Hoxie moving up in the rankings at this event and moving into the final fight later on tonight.
Unstoppable force in the arena. Will anyone be able to take them out? We're going to find out who's going to go up against them soon.
All right, but we've got more 3-pound action coming up to find out who they will be facing. And first up, from Waltham, Massachusetts, it's Samuel Herman and Colossus. A little colossal squid action on the head. I like the theming. It's nice. Not the Colossus you think of. And coming all the way from the robot fighting capital of the world, Maryland. And Team Sleepy Anime Girl Club, it's Keziah Sky. It's Chainsaw Kitty.
Now this is a classic big wheel matchup. This is what they're built for. But Chainsaw Kitty is not unstoppable today. Nice little config there, protecting the motor.
What do you think
I
about
like
it?
to see it. All right, so to call this action, we're going to go to Dima and Ricky in the play-by-play booth.
Thank you, Kyle. I am excited for this fight. Colossus and Chainsaw Kitty have both been delivering jaw-dropping hits the entire day, and now we have two kinetic energy terrors in the arena at the same time. Colossus from Sam Herman, coming in from Waltham, Massachusetts. This big wheel vert has a ton of reach, and honestly, the 12-3 record probably undersells the terror they've been on today.
In the blue corner, we have Keziah Sky coming out of Havre de Grace, Maryland. A vertical spinner with a skill labeled as speed, and I think it is very clear once you see Chainsaw Kitty moving, it is fast and dangerous with a four-wheel drive system and an exposed sort of weapon assembly, foregoing a lot of its weight that you would otherwise put towards armor and defense for sheer power, if that's, a little bit easy to grasp for the viewers at home. It looks a little a skeletal, a little scaffold, a little framework. That is clear why once you see it moving and once you see it start hitting things. It's really, really, really powerful and a real treat to watch.
Chainsaw Kitty is pure violence all the time, as soon as the door closes till the time the match is over. Joy to watch.
If you name your robot, if you put Chainsaw in the name of your robot,
5,
it better
4,
move like Chainsaw
3,
Kitty, and it does.
2, 1.
Fight, robots,
off.
fight.
Interesting dynamics in that first exchange. Not where Colossus wants to be.
Definitely does not want to be on its side with its blade touching the ground. Chainsaw Kitty has that little bit of armor configuration to protect the weapon and the motor. Whoa.
These blows not super decisive, but every single one is doing a little bit more damage to Colossus than it is to Chainsaw Kitty. You can see bits of tire being torn off of the wheels, little indentations.
These hits to the wheels are absolutely going to accumulate if Colossus doesn't do something to stop it.
Oh, but
soon.
Chainsaw Kitty now has its drive side on its left-hand side is no longer functioning properly. That's a lot of damage and a lot of lost mobility, and now it's not moving at all. It's upside down. Oh, but it's trying. Is it going to be able to get out of here without an unstick?
I assume there's the unstick, I believe. Yes, called for. Move Chainsaw Kitty off the kick plates.
The weapon on Chainsaw Kitty is not functioning either.
Those last couple hits did look really bad for Keziah.
Tap
There's the
out.
tap out.
Your winner for this round is Colossus. They will be headed to the 3-pound finals.
Hear Keziah cage side say, "Oh well, gotta shrug your shoulders." That one. That was a great fight. Just did not shake out in Keziah's favor this time.
Only so much you can do. This could have gone either way for sure. Chainsaw Kitty was off to a great start, but in the end, those hits from Colossus, eventually one connected, and it only takes one when you're a glass cannon like Chainsaw Kitty.
There were a couple shots that I think very much were effective due to angle and geometry. When Colossus did hit Chainsaw Kitty back, it was either weapon to weapon and they both glanced off each other, or it was an oblique hit to the chassis that knocked it in a really bad spot, either got her stuck for a while or did some damage to a drive side that proved critical.
Makes sense to me.
Colossus, earlier in the event, you have people saying, who do you think is the dark horse to get really far, maybe win a dumpster? I didn't see anybody guess Colossus. Maybe a couple people did actually, but I think Colossus is appearing to be the dark horse that has made it all the way to finals.
Absolutely say so. We're going to go cage side to Sam. He's got an interview for us.
Yep. Thank you, Ricky. I am here with Sam. And Sam, great showing in that fight. Why is this your best tournament yet here at NHRL?
Yeah, so this is my second tournament here at NHRL with version 2 of Colossus, new and improved. I was here in November of last year. Went 3-1, eventually succumbed to Project Liftoff. He ripped one of my wheels out, ripped the shoulder bolt through the TPU. I've since remodeled the inside of this robot to have a piece of aluminum that sort of keeps it in there, and so far I haven't had any issues. I've just been making small improvements, like little by little, and they're paying off, I guess.
They are paying off. You got one more match left for the day. Good luck in your fight against the wall part 2.
Thank you. I'll try to make it as good as possible.
All right, thanks. Back to y'all.
I gotta tell you, that kid's looking good today. That was a really nice fight. Took some hits, dished them out.
That's the matchup you want if you're a big wheel. That's not the matchup you want if you're a four-wheeled vert. Unfortunately for Chainsaw Kitty, unable to make it up against the hard counter of Colossus. And Colossus showing what they're built to do. Big hits in bad places for Chainsaw Kitty.
I like the shield though, pretty cool. But we're gonna look at the 12-pound bracket right now.
Yeah, Buzz-Kill taking it over. Xenomorph in a stunner is going to go up against Bigheera in the first fight of the 12-pound bracket. And then Caldera 12 going up against That's a Lot of TPU. Gotta be the most surprising robot in the 12-pound class. Knockouts all day long from a pure TPU flipper.
I just love that they've improved their knockout record so much today. This 12-pound bracket is nothing if it's not surprising. But one thing that's not surprising at all, your number 1 seed is getting ready to load into the box right now. But first, let's head up to the prime time pits and check in on the rest of the bracket.
So we've got Gored here getting some more repairs done to the weapon. We saw them lose their weapon again. It's been a bit unreliable today, although they keep racking up the wins. They're going to want some more reliability in that weapon in the finals if they're to take it home, and they're going to at least need to get it working if they're to get it in the arena.
Yeah, they've got many hands to make for this light work, but yeah, that's a whole rebuild that they're doing in there.
You know, earlier today we saw them completely disassemble the robot as they rebuilt the weapon. I'm not seeing it quite so disassembled this point. Let's hope they don't need to do that. Let's hope they're tightening that bolt, but hard to tell. And they get this back together and into the arena later today for the finals. Would be nice to see.
Yeah, it hits hard when it works, but yeah, the attrition game is really getting to them at this point.
It's good we get to see this because so much of your day here, you come and compete, you're in the pits 95% of the day.
Oh, yeah.
The battles are won and lost in the pits. You know, you're designing it for months. You're in the pits for hours. You're in the arena for minutes.
3 minutes at a time at best.
Yeah, we're streaming all the fights. That's the fun part. But the pits are important. The design is important. There's a lot of build-up to those 3 minutes of action.
All right, so before we get to this 30-pound bracket, which Gored is so surprisingly a part of for a newbie here, we got to do some business here in the 12-pound bracket.
I see that gold heat deflecting tape. Insulation looking to be added between the armor here, trying to keep all that heat out as much as possible.
Good luck with that.
There it is.
All right, coming up, we've got Bigheera and Buzz-Kill going to be loading into the arena. Very excited about that. All right. From California, Maryland, it's Liam King. And it's Buzz-Kill. Number 1 seed for a reason. He fights like a dog fighter out there, like he's flying a high-impact jet. And I cannot wait to see this matchup. On the other side of the arena, the underdog from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, it's Nick Andreas and Bigheera. Firmly setting his place at the top of the card tonight, coming out for a golden Dumpster going up against Buzz-Kill.
Who is going to firmly grasp this opportunity for a chance in the finals?
So excited for this matchup. A chance for a golden dumpster after this fight. Both of these bots already qualified for the World Championship Tournament. Let's go to the play-by-play booth with Ricky and Dima to call this action.
Happy to, Kyle. We are... Oh, I'm excited for this one. How are you feeling, Dima?
I'm really excited for Bigheera. I'm a big fan of the Crafty Cat combat team. They hail out of Quakertown, PA. Little bit of trivia for you. Do you know who comes from Quakertown, PA? One of the most popular pop stars of the modern era, Sabrina Carpenter.
Wow, what do you know?
I had an espresso today. The skill of Bigheera is refuses to die. Sometimes you might see that phrase in other robots like Determination. This thing is hard to kill. It just is.
And a 9-7 record is nothing to nothing to scoff at. He's going up against Buzz-Kill and Liam King. As we said, California, Maryland. This is a horizontal spinner, and it's nasty. It's a #1 seed at this point, and it's well earned with a 41-19 record. The driving is incredibly precise. The durability is through the roof.
5, 4.
It's a hell of a competitor.
3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Let's see how strong Bigheera's wedge is against that undercutter. Whoa, Sparks.
Wow, look at Buzz-Kill going flying.
We don't see Buzz-Kill get hit like this very often.
And then the combo shot again, Bigheera, 2 back shots, one after another. This is almost unheard of for Buzz-Kill in that sort of rapid succession. And now I'm seeing drive side issues. On the right-hand side of Buzz-Kill, it's not moving as well as it was a moment ago.
Buzz-Kill's the #1 seed for a reason. It's extremely maneuverable. It doesn't get comboed very easily. But Bigheera juggled it earlier, and since then it looks like it's taken control of the fight.
Yeah, those forks on the front of Buzz-Kill, very effective against Bigheera, but for whatever reason, Bigheera has had good luck getting to the side of Buzz-Kill, which is something not many robots can claim.
It appears maybe Liam King has met his match when it comes to maneuverability in the 12-pound bracket.
Another nice pop up into the air and a bit of a gyro dance on Buzz-Kill's end. And again throwing up in the air. And now Buzz-Kill is inverted. That weapon is on the top. This is easy pickings for Bigheera, but Bigheera's weapon is down.
This might be a situation where what we have left in the fight is just jamming the wedge into that horizontal as much as possible. Bigheera's weapon doesn't look like it's in a state where it can come back. This doesn't look like intermittence. This looks like it's down.
This does look like it's down. We've got a really interesting problem for Bigheera right now. They want to avoid doing that. Now Buzz-Kill is right side up. It can come in and be much more forceful with this weapon. And you can see the right side drive on Bigheera is starting to fail. This is back and forth, push and pull. Bigheera slowing to a crawl, barely moving at all.
Is this a pairing issue? Is this a battery issue? Are we just dead? I think.
No, this is drive system. This is real damage in the robot.
Oh no.
Oh no, huge pieces of robot have been displaced from Bigheera. Wheels have been torn asunder. It lays motionless in the middle of the arena with Buzz-Kill leaning back, waiting to strike as a kill shot at the last moment. They're gonna try for an unstick, but I see belts hanging loose. I see wheels scattered across the floor. I don't think there's any hope for Bigheera, and I think Buzz-Kill is gonna make good on that #1 seed and head into the finals in just a few moments.
It's hard to say anything other than wow to this fight because Bigheera looked so commanding right at the start. Knocking Buzz-Kill around, juggling it, doing combos to it in ways we almost never see.
Dima, like you introduced, Buzz-Kill is nigh unstoppable. It is such a durable machine, and it's that durability that got them across the line here. Nothing went down. Things kept functioning. Their opponent couldn't say the same, and it got them the win.
It's so... You just never count Buzz-Kill out. That's the thing. It's not. It's easy to say, oh wow, it always has the upper hand. It always is driving so aggressively because it's always winning. But even when it's on the back foot, Liam King knows how to play from behind, even though you wouldn't know what to look at him because he's rarely losing or in a losing position.
You know, a lot of time you hear these horizontal spinners saying spin to win. Given the theme of the robot, I think this one is always B spinning.
ABS?
Yeah.
That's the name of the new judging rules too. Always be using your weapon if you can.
You can see in this replay where Bigheera is starting to slow down and Buzz-Kill's taking no mercy, giving no mercy, slamming a couple other fights in.
As soon as the lights turn blue, like not even a second later, he goes in for that hit. Like you said, that last second kill shot. What are the reflexes on this guy? Like the lights changed like in a second, and then he went in for that shot. That's how you often want to play those unstick situations. All right, cage staff sweeping up, but we got Sam cage side. Take it away.
Thank you, Dima. Here with Nick. Valiant effort in that fight. You had the #1 seed on the ropes. How was that for you?
It was amazing. I've had weapon reliability issues for months now, but to go in there against Buzz-Kill and to be kicking butt for most of it and making a good run of it, I felt really good. It was a sad ending, but it felt great.
A sad ending, but not an ending for this season. We will see you at Pro Tour in May. You got prepped for that coming up?
I think I'm supposed to work that weekend, so the first goal is to actually get that switched and free myself up for that because I didn't expect to be there.
All right, well, Nick's work, he's going to be sick in May, so just give him the time off, and back to you all.
Thank you, Sam.
It's
Wow.
nice to see. Sorry.
All right, so this bracket's looking a little bit weird. Let's take a quick look upstairs in the pits.
Oh.
Team Pandemonium. The wall is... What?
That's an even bigger wall. Now this is quite risky of a configuration, Kyle, because this is going to drastically change their maneuverability. It's going to change how they may or may not do the thing. It's going to change a lot of the dynamics just of the way the robot moves. If they've not driven with practice with this is going to be tough.
From what I just heard from the control booth, this is a repurposed yard sign. And to quote a president of the United States, we're adding 10 feet to the wall.
The crowd cheering for the 4.50 weigh-in. Of course, they are a shuffler. They get the 1.5 pound bonus.
Can you imagine any armor that big getting you through weight? That is so funny.
Well, that tells you something about how heavy it is and maybe how durable it's going to be. Quite an interesting config. I don't know if I would do this myself, Kyle.
Yeah? No?
How do you think this is going to work?
corral the Colossus?
Yeah. Colossus has interesting anti-corral wheels. You
Yes.
saw them earlier today. They almost work as saw blades. Might be able to tear through this. So that could be interesting if they decide to run those. We'll see. They can climb over things with them. Yeah.
All right. Well, we still got some business to take care of in this 12-pound bracket to find out who is going to be in the finals. So, from Marlborough, Massachusetts, it's the Pit Dad, Glenn Boxall, from Team 2 Hot to Handle, and Caldera 12. He's had his hype man with him all day today. The good luck charm, you gotta love that. And from Bethany, Connecticut, and Team D2 Robotics, it's Dane Hardy, and that's a lot of TPU! What a wide bot. It's orange. It's got so much ground game. It's scraping up the paint. I love this machine.
This is a lot of orange in one arena, Kyle.
It's very true. Dane has been driving beautifully today and getting so many knockouts with that lifter. You put these limitations of the new rules in front of Dane, and Dane says, okay, I'll just knock him out then. I don't want to deal with this new judging rubric. I'll just do knockouts all day, okay? Okay.
The best way to win a judge's decision is just don't even go to it. Just win a knockout.
All right, let us go to Dima and Ricky in the play-by-play booth to call this 12-pound action.
Thank you, Kyle. I have been talking up That's a Lot of TPU's fork configuration and those sort of baleen forks all day, but I've yet to see it go up against a horizontal, especially one like Caldera. I'm really interested to see how this one goes. Caldera may be a little vulnerable to those kick plates, getting the thing done to it, but it can also shred the heck out of That's a Lot of TPU.
And we may well see that. It's going to be hard to say. That's a lot of TPU has been having a heck of a run. It is such an impressive amount of TPU. I mean, quite frankly, the name says it all. Dale is bringing this from Bethany, Connecticut. It's a lifter. It's tremendously wide. It's durable, but most importantly, it's been driven like it's possessed. It's coming at you hard. It's coming at you fast. It's knocked out robots by slamming them into walls, by flipping them upside down, and we know that's what they're going to want to do in this fight as well.
Glenn has a lot of driving experience, some of the most in the building. I'm curious to see how it comes into play against a weird sort of configuration like That's a Lot of TPU. Speaking of, I got to get a nickname for that guy. It's a mouthful every time.
It is. It is. Taltpoof?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Go. That's a lot of TPU coming in from the side and immediately flipping Caldera. Solid flip.
Immediately trying to get a good angle on
But
him.
now not moving whatsoever. What's happened?
I wonder. Is this a pin he's holding on purpose, or is something locked up? Looks like controller issues, maybe.
I don't know. I hear beeping. That is angry beeping. Oh,
here we go.
Back again. Oh, and Caldera is stuck in the wall. The left-hand side is down on That's a Lot of TPU, or at least struggling.
That's a bad place for a lifter to be. You want to have that full drive so that you can line up lifts if you want to go for KOs.
Especially when your lifter is made of chewy bubble gum and you're up against a possessed threshing machine. I don't know how this is going to work out. Oh, they stalled again. These clearly must be some sort of electronic issue.
Certainly a transmitter issue, an ESC issue, a pairing issue, or something cage side that is preventing them from doing what they need to do. But Caldera has a down drive side too, so it can't easily reach over there and just attack it.
No, and we've talked earlier about feeds and speeds. Caldera needs to be able to attack pretty quick. Well, there it is. It burst back to life.
Here we go. It's not over till it's over, folks.
Oh, and a big hit, and they've become somewhat entangled in the front. Those TPU forks have been sucked into the front of Caldera.
Trying to sort of push Glenn off of him.
I would not be surprised if this goes to an unstick. Yeah, it's exactly what's happening.
We are
the
paused.
match has been paused, yes.
We're paused, and I'm not talking hysterically. Housebot is going to try to try to nudge one of them free, essentially. Try to get Glenn's weapon out of that gummy TPU.
I think we're going to go in here with a surgical crowbar and perhaps my favorite stick in the building and get these two apart. It doesn't look like this is going to be something that gets pulled apart with the house bomb.
Dumpster hook got to be like my top one favorite stick.
Yeah. It's absolutely in the upper 50% of my top two sticks. For sure. Sounds like Cage, Sam is Cage side. You can give us a little information while this is happening.
I am cage side with Rob Saracen, head steward. And Rob, what happens when they get stuck together like this real quick?
So when you've got an entanglement like this, what we'll do is we'll pause the match. We'll give our staff about a minute to try to disentangle. And at the end of that minute, if they can't disentangle, it's going to go to the judges. If they can, which it looks like we were successful, we're going to continue the match.
All right, thank you so much. Let's get this match going again.
All right, we're going to jump back into it, but we do need to be aware if an entanglement happens for the same reason more than once in a fight, the fight will then go to the judges, and the stewards will get involved to say, is this too much of an entanglement risk to proceed with future matches with this design?
Is this too much TPU?
Yeah. We're back at it. TPU, that's too much TPU. It's just too much TPU. No, that's a lot of TPU has pushed Caldera 12 into the corner in a bit of a pin, but now it's frozen. It's not moving. This doesn't appear to be an intentional pin. It just appears to be a...
They're trying to show motion, but it looks like
They
they're
are.
having drive issues, having pairing issues like before.
Now, Caldera can move in this corner. They could show movement and just allow that's a lot of TPU to die and be counted out.
Yeah, this is the knockout count.
In fact, that is what's happening. This is the strangest knockout I have seen in years here at NHRL, where one robot's corralling the other in a corner, and the one that gets knocked out is the one doing the corralling.
Sort of dies in the clinch. Hard to explain. You don't see fights like that every day.
Well, needless to say, clearly this is some sort of electronics. I'm gonna guess controller issue. Not the way that's a lot of TPU wanted to end the fight, but boy, Glenn and company are pleased as punch.
So we do have an extra stat for you. We have our stats nerds in the buildings. We counted the amount of times Noah jumped just during that fight. The number is 110.
That's a lot of jumps. It's a lot of jumps. It's a lot of jumps. Might be too many jumps.
I'm almost 30 years old. My ankles would be hurting.
Yeah, it's the right amount of jumps. I've decided. Congratulations, you've hit the exact right number of jumps, Noah. You can pick up your prize later tonight. That and probably a golden dumpster at the rate you're going.
If I had that jumping ability, I don't think there would be no stopping me.
No. No, small objects, no impediment whatsoever.
All right, we're loading out, turning off Caldera. So our other 12-pound finalist is decided.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, everybody else, any robot fan at home, we are going to have a Buzz-Kill and Caldera 12 final in the 12-pound class in just a little while.
For those that haven't been following the bracket itself, or for those that are just joining us, all of our grand finalists have been decided for the 3-pound, 12-pound, and 30-pound brackets.
Yeah, as we mentioned for the 12-pound, we've got Caldera 12 and we've got Buzz-Kill. In the 3-pound class, we've got The Wall Part 2 going up against Colossus. And of course, in the 30-pound match, we've got Gored going up against the Flame Machine of Kazaa.
Another little fun fact for you, a Big Wheel has not dumpstered in the 3-pound division, but they have in 12 and 30s. So if Colossus can clutch this one out, it'll be a first for the division.
Wow. That is kind of amazing because there are a lot of very competitive 3-pound big wheel robots. That is interesting. I wonder if that includes robots like Billy and other big wheels that are a little bit different than your average big wheel.
Has Billy dumpstered?
I don't think so. But I'm saying robots like Billy, perhaps.
Billy types.
Billy types, yeah.
The Wall.
Billy
also
Bobs, Billy Janes, Billy Joels, whatever it is in the Billy family. Billy Goats.
Somebody
clubs.
Somebody shows me Colossus with metal wheels, and I go, oh, it's a Billy-like.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough if that is going to materialize or not. But in the meantime, we're going to go back to Kyle and Adam. Guys?
Oh, that is such a painful way to lose for that's a lot of TPU. It was one of those failures, Kyle. To me, it felt like something with the ESCs. No, those are the bits, the controllers that tell the motors what to do. And these modern ones, when they turn on, they need a zero signal until they arm, right? If you're sending them full power when you turn them on, they don't move as a safety feature, right? For when you turn on your robot. But the problem is sometimes your controllers reset in the middle of a fight, and they don't get that several seconds of zero signal because you're sitting there jamming your stick back and forth trying to get it to move, and stopping for 5 seconds can be painful.
Yeah, it can cost you the fight.
And I think that we saw it reset a few times there as he took his hands off the stick. Something's causing this ESC to reset and didn't get the deadband signal there at the end, maybe. Very painful, but let's go to the 12-pound bracket
All right,
and see
so let's
what we got
see
coming up.
how we got to where we are in the 12-pound bracket. Up top, we've got Buzz-Kill working their way through Xenomorph and Bigheera. Down bottom, we've got Caldera 12 working their way through the Carolina Reaper. And yeah, that's a lot of TPU ending, but nonetheless, Glenn Boxall looking at a possible golden dumpster in the 12-pound division. Not sure how he's going to perform against Liam King. I know that he doesn't have the best record against him. Let's talk about the 3-pound bracket. Right up at the top, we've got the Wall Part 2 making their way through Pinevictus, reigning defending world champion, BRZRKR, and now they've got to go up against Colossus, who took out Chainsaw Kitty, took out Anubis. I mean, this bot's looking unstoppable today.
But they'll be going up against the biggest wall we've yet seen in the finals.
Yeah, the Wall Part 2. Let's talk about that 30-pound bracket. Reigning defending world champion Kazalite up at the top, and they're still just looking unbeatable.
No surprise to see them in the finals, going up against Brandon Bennett Young and Phenomenon, trying to start the year off right with a golden dumpster, make it back to another Pro World Championships later this year.
That's right, Brandon Bennett Young, he has made it to the dance many times. He has not often been the homecoming queen. We will see how that goes for him. And now, that 30-pound final coming your way. Joshua Reinhardt and Kazaa Light. How many computers did this robot destroy in the early 2000s? So many. They've come back to this tournament. And they'll be facing Gored. This machine has been looking so mean all day long.
Look at that nice shiny gold heat tape to deflect the heat from the flames of Kazaa Light. We've got the crowd backed up. We are ready for flames.
I am so excited to see it. Gored had so many hands putting it back together for this fight. Will the weapons stay active the entire fight? Let's find out. We're going to go to the play-by-play booth to call this action right now.
Thank you so much. I am pumped for this fight. And Dima, let's look at the tape. Up first, Joshua Reinhardt from Norwich, Connecticut, with the flame-throwing Kazaa Light, our #1 seed, and nothing but a tornado of fire and durability. Going up against
Gored. Driven by Carter Kurtz out of Terre Haute, Indiana, a very terrifying vertical spinner with the size and geometry to back it up. It can fit an entire one of those Kazaa Lights in between its two outer forks. Let's see if that's enough to set up damage to finally take down the #1 seed, Kazaa Light, the former world champion.
Look at this, Dima. Speaking of fork configuration, they're running a different fork placement on Gored that's a little bit narrower.
Huh.
That's going to help, potentially, at least the plan is, that's going to help them counteract the front forks on the front of Kazaa Light just a little bit better.
Interestingly, they're also pretty asymmetrical. I think I maybe assumed the dustpan sort of outer forks would be good at corralling an entire Kazaa Light, but maybe what happens is Kazaa Light's forks sort of get in between you, keep you at bay, and the weapon never touches you.
That is the way that Kazaa Light's forks are designed. You'll see there's little nurbles on the forks themselves, and they're meant to hang up a robot and keep them away at that perfect flaming distance. And yeah, the fork configuration on Gored is hoping, and we'll see if they're successful, they're hoping to counteract that.
And those little nubbins that you mentioned on the forks, those are plastic, so they do have an ablative quality to them. If they get hit, if they get knocked around, they're not going to bend and warp the entire fork on Kazaa, which might otherwise affect its driving and prevent it from enacting its game plan.
Well, we will see if this strategy works out for them or not. I think a lot of this is going to be a tale of the forks, and only time to tell.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Off to the races.
Very
Gored,
quick spin up from Gored.
wasting no time, but sort of locks itself right in between the center of both Kazaas.
That is a heck of a blaze. Look at that. Gored unable to disengage easily, but then, oh, a good nice hit on the bottom half of Kazaa Light.
That weapon doesn't look like it's spinning nearly at the speed it wants to. Now it's not spinning at all. That's worrisome.
White a pin, the spin is back, but so are the flames.
Let's get some hits.
And now Kazaa Light is a facial accoutrement for Gored.
We talk about hats sometimes. That was a little bit of a mask. Pinning one half of Kazaa, the other one is going to come behind you and turn on the flame.
That's the trouble. Just torch the house bot for fun, why don't you? Yeah. Yeah, that weapon is not spinning very much on Gored. It does seem intermittent, but certainly not working right now.
That first flame that it ate from both Kazaa Light halves, that's probably had a little bit of a devastating effect. You see flame tape on the sides of Gored. You don't really see a whole lot in the center or on top of it.
It is stunning to me just how effective these flames can be. Look at that from both sides.
Here we go. More cookery happening. This is
so much fire. Kazaa Light has just been giving out free tickets to the crematorium all day.
It doesn't happen very often, but if you've ever been pinned in between two flamethrowers or just sat there for a pin getting cooked, it's brutal to feel. This feels horrible.
Or if it's happened to your robot. Look at them go. I am just watching Gored progressively get tanner, deeper and deeper shades.
Yeah, it's getting yellowed like an old Nintendo console.
The UV damage is extreme right now.
You can hear it in my voice. This hurts a little bit to watch. This is brutal.
We're in the last minute of the fight. Pieces, a belt has now fallen off of Gored. Oh, Dima, they've tapped out. Your winner, your champion of the 30-pound class at the February 2026 NHRL is Kazaa Light, retaining their #1 seed ranking, punching their ticket to the Pro Tour and to the Pro Tour World Championship at the end of the year and taking home a golden dumpster full of cash.
You had a golden bread a couple months ago. Have another dumpster, why don't you? I don't really blame Sam for asking you, why are you so unbeatable, bro? How does one beat you? There are answers, but they're so hard to enact. It's not just that Kazaa is durable, it's that it's got terrifying flame that'll cook even the toughest 30-pound robots. It's not just the way the bot is constructed, it's the driving skill between both Peter and Joshua. Two amazing drivers on the sticks for Kazaa Light.
Okay, I gotta move.
The team behind Gored, you gotta assume they're happy with their overall performance today. They've had decisive victories against some of the top dogs in the 30-pound division. Not just the bracket for today, the whole division, any bot that you could expect to see at NHRL. But they were stopped by the #1 seed, the reigning champion from the 2025 season, and our now inaugural first champion of the 2026 season.
A wild, wild ride. And a beautiful ride at that with the flames that we got to see today. Well earned from Joshua Reinhardt. But boy, Gored did have a heck of a run themselves, didn't they, Dima?
Absolutely. They looked really, really, really strong against every vert that they faced, and there were some verts to face. You can see them kind of feeling the heat radiating off of Gored. But we're going to go back to Adam and Kyle at the BFS to talk about what just happened.
Thank you, Dima. Kyle, can anyone ever beat Kazaa Light again?
Godzilla. That's what they're calling it up in the pits. It's breathing fire. It's stacking golden breaths. It's stacking dumpsters. I just love to see Joshua Reinhardt, Team 90s kid, dominating. Let's check out this replay action here.
Unbelievable. Take a look at the flames, the double barbecue. Trademark
Tornado here. Look at this, the double pin in the middle of the arena and just full on cook.
There's nothing you can do. You're sitting on those forks. You're just getting smoked. Your internals are getting larger where they shouldn't be, and everything stops working slowly, one after another. The weapon down early on Gored. The drive slowing until they had to tap out with nothing left. But Gored all the way to the finals. Great job for them. Congrats to our new February 2026 Golden Dumpster winners. One more thing to do, I guess.
Absolutely. Let's go over to Sam right now to talk to the team.
Yeah, there's just one more thing to do. And Joshua, what a showing today. How does it feel going from being an underdog to the scariest 30-pound robot in the entire class?
It feels amazing. I just love being somebody that hopefully other bots will aspire to. I'm still waiting to see another fire multi-bot. I thought there might be one coming on the horizon, but hopefully the time's still young, so I just want to see more fire.
Well, there's 2 other weight classes, and I know someone that's pretty good at building multi-bot fire bots. Could it be you?
Well, the 12s is probably on our horizon next. I've kind of been done wrong by the 12s in the past, and I want to take another swing at it now that I got some more experience.
All right, well, I can't wait to see what you cook up. But Joshua, you know what to do. Yeah. Hold it high!
Yeah, move it into the light there, fellas. I love it. Striking the pose. Well-deserved golden dumpster for this team.
Unbeatable all day long. No question who was going to be taking home the dumpster today in the 30-pound class.
Reigning, defending world champion, Kazaa Light. Joshua Reinhardt leading his team to victory. Peter Garnache, that secret sauce from Texas. Oof. Can't complain about that one. All right, we're going to look at that 3-pound bracket coming up next.
The wall going up against Colossus in the finals. We've got an overhead hammer saw robot going up against Colossus, a big wheel. Both these bots have had tough roads to the finals. The wall part 2 taking out Pinevictus early on. Colossus just off a win over Chainsaw Kitty. 2 hard-hitting robots, both working on interesting configurations to take on each other. We've got a nice little config battle coming up in the 3-pound finals. That'll be something to see.
So excited to see it. The wall part 2. Colossus. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, from Team Pandemonium, it's Ben Hoxie and the wall part 2.
A lot of signatures on that new panel. Is larger better? We will see.
That's so big. All right. So coming at you from Waltham, Massachusetts, it's Samuel Herman and Colossus. Larger than life. Hitting hard and looking unstoppable today. Can it punch a hole through the wall? Part 2.
We will see who is able to take this one. That is a large keep away wall on the wall. These types of big config changes can be really hit or miss. It's a big swing. Is it going to connect?
We all have questions about it. Let's go ahead and get those questions answered right now. We're going to go to the play-by-play booth with Ricky and Dima. Let's go.
Thank you, Kyle. Let's jump right into the big question everyone's been asking. No, let's go right into the tail of the tape. The Wall Part 2. Ben Hoxie bringing it in from Narragansett, Rhode Island. Excuse me if I got that wrong. It's a hammer saw. It's big, it's smothering, and it has a crazy 30-8 record and a number 3 seed.
Well, I do have one question for Sam Herman driving Colossus out of Waltham, Massachusetts. He's got a big wheel vertical spinner with a lot of reach, but can he climb the wall?
Does he have what it takes? Is he gonna show us a nice free solo here today? We're gonna find out. The question everyone is asking, is this monstrosity legal? Is this allowed? The answer is yes. The inspectors upstairs will have taken a look. Does this impede how your robot drives? Does it impede your robot's weapon function? Apparently the answer was no in both cases. The only other question is, does it impede your view of your opponent?
4, 3,
Seems like you're going to be able to get around the side and see.
1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Away we go. It's important to note, Dima, that's a lot of plastic that can get chewed up really easy.
It's a lot floppier than you think, and it might gum things up if you're not careful.
Well, it's a huge amount of damage. Look, that's a giant gash they've just sustained in their robot. If you add a giant wall of flimsy plastic, you're just asking for that flimsy plastic to be torn to pieces.
I don't think Hoxie wants to go to the judges, though. That's the thing, is I don't think he wants to worry about how the judges are going to look at damage. I think he either wants to kill or be killed. You can hear people cage side laughing because they know it's silly. Silly looking for sure. Yeah, here's the problem. Now you're having self-righting issues because you got big wings on the front of you.
It's kind of like...
Here we go, though.
It's a broken angel kind of thing going on here.
That's beautiful, Ricky. Now you're obstructing your own hammer saw until you can get that wing out of the way. There we go. Now it's out of the way.
It's been torn off.
We're only a minute in, and the cage is littered with stuff. Just absolute junk.
This arena. Oh, and we've taken out a camera. This shredding is making Mother Nature cry with microplastics.
I think Team Pandemonium knows how to have fun. That's what I'll say. That's the wall.
Honestly, both robots doing very well. The wall is not showing a lot of control or restraint, but it is flopping all over the place, and it is clearly not giving up.
I wonder, is it, again, we keep talking about its weapon not really
look at that! Pinning the wheel down to the ground so you can use your hammer saw to attack.
That was so beautiful. Let's do that again, Ben. Samuel Herman is doing a great job of not really being fazed by all the litter in the arena. That's the word I would use, litter. Garbage.
Detritus.
Whoa.
People are going nuts with claims that this is in fact the wall.
This is literally...
Look at these hits. This is the most effective I've seen a hammer saw with a dodgy spinner. These hits are legitimately doing damage to the opponent, bending the plastic.
Oh no, those, yeah, if you can really stop the wheels from driving like that, you need 10 seconds to stop them from motion. We got 20 seconds left in the fight though. I don't think it's gonna be KO.
No, this appears that it's gonna be going the distance, but wait! Colossus has been frozen. And it pops back to life for a moment. Can it move again?
Is this the KO count?
They could just barely KO.
There's the unstick call.
No, the unstick has been called. That will prevent the KO from happening.
That prevents the KO, but I think there's going to be a really important prove-it period in a moment here.
That is your fight. The end of the 3-pound class. The prove-it period is now. Show what you can do. Prove what you can.
The wall's weapon is spinning. Not great, but it's
just
spinning.
enough to move it across the arena floor.
But Colossus looks a little worse for wear, doesn't it? Can't really spin its weapon without skidding on the ground. Tons of damage on the wheels.
There's so much going on here. Obviously, the wheels are damaged. Obviously, the spinner was dodgy on the wall and it went down on Colossus. But we also have drive issues. You know, things are not spinning correctly anymore. Motors are strained. there's real damage beyond just the fact that the wheels have effectively gone flat.
You're still talking strategy. My brain is being shot, kaput, and mesmerized by that's the wall. Colossus has looked so terrifying the entire time, but Ben strolled up to grand finals ready to have fun, and I think fun we did have.
Fun we did have.
Really curious about how this is going to be judged.
People are pumped. Let's take another look at that match. I got to get some more. Look at the damage as it stacks up. You know, they say if your signature's on something, it's important that you put it through a shredder before you put it in the garbage, because someone might steal your identity, and I can only hope that Colossus was just trying to help with personal informational security.
Obviously I would have never in a million years looked at it from that angle, but you sound so convincing when you say it like that. You gotta assume that when Ben put those literal walls on the front, he had to have known they're gonna get shredded up, torn up, right? Like those seem extremely ablative.
For sure. Like so many things, when it comes to armor, they serve as extra lives, right?
Yeah.
It gives you another couple shots for what could have been just a death stroke.
Tanking shots from a big wheel using ablative armor doesn't seem like a bad strategy at all. It matters when it goes to the judges, and you've clearly demonstrated you've lost really big pieces of your robot. I'm just so curious as to how that gets scored. I think Ben was super aggressive, but his weapon was down. Colossus took a lot of damage, but obviously so did the wall.
You know, Dima, do you know how I would sum up the armor package on that robot?
No, how would you do it, Ricky?
Well, all in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Why didn't I see that coming?
That's how I would sum it up today, I think. Great fights, well earned. I don't think there's any mystery in how this is going to come out. But what a fight.
Those fans playing for the camera, they deserve some robot parts. Just for the facial expressions they're giving the camera, I think that deserves some robot parts. Just one woman's opinion.
Just a little part as a treat.
Just a little treat. Just a little treat from just a little guy.
All right, we are going to head back to Kyle and Adam. They're going to get us ready for the next fight.
Well, I got no puns on that last one, but all I can say is I've never seen a configuration fail so horribly and yet a robot do so well in the fight.
Very impressive work. One thing I will say, these two robots have cemented themselves at the top of the card tonight. Very impressive work from both of these teams. Colossus was just a robot that was around. You know, you saw it in a lot of competitions, but this was the best version of them we have ever seen. Sam doing amazing job on the sticks today. And let's just talk about the wall for a minute. How dominant have they been today?
They've been just an unstoppable force. They've been absolutely dominating all day long. They come in with this funky configuration that's just getting torn up entirely for the first minute of the fight. Once it's gone, they take control.
Yeah, the corralling strategy that you see against big wheels sometimes, it's a big risk.
It's really hard to pull off, and it's a real risk when you don't. And it just seemed to tear away, gave them maybe a little bit of time. Maybe it slowed down that weapon, put some stress on it. But, wow, the latter half of that fight sure was a change.
One thing's for sure, I'm glad we don't have to go back into that cage anymore tonight, because that was a huge mess that they left in that cage floor that our team has to clean out of there. But yeah, really effective use of a literal wall to slow down that weapon and give themselves an opportunity. And how much damage did they do to those wheels? I mean, you saw Colossus kind of scraping along the floor at the end of that fight.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at it right over here, and the wheels are bent all to well, somewhere that's very bent.
Look at cage 2 right now. It's just full of debris left over. The whole wall just piled into the corner there.
Yeah, so that's the wall in there. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Just massive mess left everywhere inside of that arena right
in
now.
In the condition damage category now, there are 3 tiers. This type of armor is like the lowest tier, right? So, weapon and drive and all of that are the highest tiers, and then, the lower tier are these types of armor add-ons. So although that was substantial damage, the fact that Colossus wasn't driving well at the end, that is going to count more against them.
in that condition score.
I just got an update from the control booth. Apparently, we don't have a single judge's decision in yet. This is too close to call right now. So thank you, gentlemen, for putting on a ridiculous fight. This is our current judging criteria, so let's go over that really quick. If you could run us through it, Adam, I'd appreciate it.
So it is attack and condition. Those are the two categories. Condition is 6 points. It is similar to damage, but it's how well is your robot still intact at the end. The better intact your robot is, the more points you are going to take home. Attack is how often, how well did you try to cause harm to your opponent and succeed during the match. Harm can be tearing them apart, it can be hitting them really hard, flipping them into the air, tossing them over. You have to be using your active weapon consistently for the duration in a effective way. That's how you score attack points. Very often we'll see two robots come out in a very similar condition. They'll tie, they'll go 3-on-3, and attack is what ends up separating the fight. We're going to see how the judges saw this one. It was tight, like I said, back and forth. One half of the fight, we saw Colossus tearing apart that sort of ablative wall in the front of the wall. The second half, we see the wall taking out the wheels of Colossus. What's going to matter more?
And one of the things unique just to this sport is that condition really means wherever that damage came from, it still counts against you. So even if you damage yourself, which a lot of robots are very capable of damaging themselves, that still counts against you in that rubric.
Condition is just kind of isolated from who did it, whereas attack is about who was doing more, who was trying more, who was attacking and consistently using that active weapon effectively.
And to your point earlier, that wall does count as condition damage. It is a lower tier of condition damage against the wall part 2, but that wall being spread all over the floor doesn't work great for that particular part of the rubric.
Yes, that will count some. And I think the real difficult one to judge here, damage, is kind of you fill out a form and it gives you a score. But this attack category, that takes a little bit more judgment.
Yeah, especially with that outcome of that fight.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting one to see when we finally do get our judges' decisions. We do have both of our competitors standing by right up here on the stage to find out who is walking away with the first golden dumpster of the 3-pound division here in 2026.
This is the longest 3 minutes of their life, standing there waiting for this decision.
The entire audience is standing by waiting for this decision. The 3-pound division here at the National Havoc Robot League is the most competitive 3-pound bracket in the entire world. And we're seeing it tonight. Two people.
Yeah. A lot of people say it's the most competitive bracket here overall. We know we've got bigger robots, but 3 pounds has the largest field. The 3-pound competitors are coming fighting over and over again. They have so much experience in that box. There's so many people, so many robots to get through to get to this point. And somebody here is going to be taking home a golden dumpster.
All right, I just got the word. The votes are in. Let's go to Sam to find out who won this matchup.
That's right. I have the judges' decision right now. And your winner of the first 3-pound class is the Wall Part 2. All right, Ben, where'd you go? Okay, Ben, did you think when you were engineering that special configuration this morning that you would be taking it all the way to the finals?
That was the entire plan all along.
Well, I'm glad everything went according to plan, and will you plan on raising this dumpster high?
Why not?
All right.
Dumpster light.
Love to see everyone hugging it out there at the end of a tough decision. The Wall taking that one home. Unstoppable all day long. Going home with the golden dumpster. Wow.
Team Pandemonium, they just don't hold back their excitement for their teammates, man. That was great to see. Just surrounding him, hugging him.
Their teammates or their opponents, they were all in on that hug.
Absolutely. Ben Hoxie putting in the work today, putting together that configuration. Big risk, paid off in the end. Congratulations to him. The wall part 2, it's scary looking, man.
It looked unbeatable, and it was today.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we are going to look at our final bracket that we'll be going into today. This is the 12-pound bracket, by far the weirdest bracket all day today. So right up at the top, we've got Buzz-Kill, your #1 seed. And yeah, they're going up against a tale as old as time. Caldera 12, Glenn Boxall.
When is Glenn Boxall not in the finals in the 12s? Caldera 12 is so reliable. Just took out That's a Lot of TPU in a really tricky fight that they were really on their back foot until That's a Lot of TPU just stopped working. I don't think they're going to get that kind of luck going up against Buzz-Kill, but we should be in for a really nice fight.
I agree. All right, so ladies and gentlemen from California, Maryland, that's right, it's Liam King and Buzz-Kill. And his opponent from Marlboro, Massachusetts, it's the Pit Dad, Glenn Boxall. And he's coming at you hot with Caldera 12. He's got the hype man with him. How many jumps will he clock in this final fight? Super pumped about this one. Horizontal spinner against horizontal spinner. Similar driving strategies.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your robots are, Kyle? I think they're right here in the box getting ready for our last final of the day. Undercutter versus Undercutter. Both robots known for chipping away at their opponents. Who is going to outlast the other? Are we going to get a KO, or are we going to go to another judge's decision? I don't know.
This is gonna be fun, Dina.
Don't I know it? Big fan of Glenn's, big fan of Liam's. Two extremely proficient drivers.
Two extremely durable robots. The #1 seed, Buzz-Kill. Liam King, bringing it from California, Maryland. Maryland pride over here. Horizontal spinner, patient driving, incredible durability, and a 42-19 record. That is stunning.
I got some New England pride coming out of Marlboro, Massachusetts. Glenn Boxall, tons of experience, and a 28-22 record on Caldera 12, the horizontal spinner. He's fought basically everybody in the division, in the entire weight class.
So many people, in fact, between these two.
Except he's never fought Buzz-Kill.
Wow.
So
that is an incredible. They must have fought nearly everyone else. Between the two of them, they don't have 100 fights here. They don't have 110. They have 111 fights at NHRL. And somehow they've never crossed paths, despite always seemingly being destined for the final matches at NHRL events.
Destiny sees fit for today. In the first tournament, first open of the 2026 season, fate has saw fit to bring together the undercutter and the midcutter. Buzz-Kill versus Caldera 12. I'm quite literally shaking with excitement, just a little bit. I love seeing both of these drivers. I love Glenn's sort of smooth, flashy driving. I love Liam's patience.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight.
Away
Robots
we
fight.
go.
It's like Buzz-Kill is maybe knocking Glenn a little farther away with these weapon-to-weapon engagements.
No, I think those were mostly Glenn winning. I think he's got a little more reach on his weapon than what Buzz-Kill does. Or at the very least, the geometry lines up right for it. That said, he's getting chipped away at. The wheels are starting to disintegrate on Caldera.
Caldera moving a little rickety. Weapon spinning maybe intermittently now.
I saw a nice big chunk of metal ripped off the side of Caldera, and that's a tap out. And your winner in the 12-pound class is a Buzz-Kill. Liam just all smiles, cheesing hard.
He better cheese a little harder when he raised that dumpster. The iconic Liam pose. Seen him hit that a few times today. You feel good, man? You should. You destroyed every 12-pound in front of you today, including
good match.
Glenn Voxel. Caldera 12, one of the most classic robots in the division. No less fearsome. Every fight you see it, every fight you see it win, every fight you see it lose. You can never count it out. But Liam King proven that Buzz-Kill is extremely dialed in. Noah gazing at the aftermath. Definitely a little disappointing for the Glenn Voxel superfan. I'm a little disappointed. I'm a Voxel superfan too.
I can tell. I know you are. But you know, Glenn's happy. You should be happy too.
Absolutely.
I think this was an excellent, excellent run for Glenn and for Caldera and for little Noah.
An excellent run, an excellent fight, even though it was a little short, you know?
Yeah, it was really interesting seeing the combination of geometry there. The weapon on Caldera was able to hit the front armor on Buzz-Kill over and over again before the undercutter could engage with Caldera. But as soon as Caldera went and kind of moved to the left or to the right, then as it passed, the undercutter on Buzz-Kill was able to chew apart the wheels, and as soon as those wheels started to go, that was the fight.
That's the key strategy that the undercutter is looking for in any division, any weight class. The undercutter wants to chew under you. It's going to find and sort of seek out your weak points and eliminate them. Get at parts of your robot that other robots might not otherwise be able to. It's a geometry question. The undercutter beats the midcutter today.
Today. Yep. Another configuration, another armor package, even another driving style could have made a huge difference here. I don't think we learned in this exchange that Buzz-Kill is better than Caldera. What we learned is that it was more effectively driven.
What we learned was that fate smiled upon a particular driver today, this evening.
You know, we're theory crafting here, Dima. Let's take a look at the replay and we can see some of these moments. See, that was the 1 and the 2 hit where the wheels took damage one side and then the other. And from that point on, it was all Buzz-Kill all the time. It was his match, Liam's match, to chew away at those wheels and just further degrade the performance of the opponent.
Absolutely. That's sort of the win condition of undercutters in general, is being able to eat at your drive. And then once your drive is eaten up, it can eat even more of your drive because you can't get away from it. And it, with Liam King's ridiculously proficient driving, can just maneuver around you without a second thought, and he did it repeatedly.
Well, with that footage in mind, I think there's still an important thing to do. We're going to go to Adam and Kyle.
Liam King going home with a golden dumpster, but at what cost? He had to make a small child who was up past his bedtime cry to do it.
Yeah, I spoke to Glenn this morning. He said not a lot of changes on the robot. One of them was a new tire compound. I wonder if that came back to bite them there as it got chewed up. But congrats to the champion of the day. There's just one more thing left to do. We're going to hand it over to Sam.
All righty, Sam, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I am here with Liam King, who just won his 3rd dumpster ever. Liam, is it going to be hard to find areas to improve on Buzz-Kill when you've been seeing so much success?
You know, you can always say that, but you know, the greatest thing about combat robotics is there's always going to be ways to improve, and even if you're the best now, there's always going to be the next generation of robots that come on to, you know, take on the playing field. So I just hope to, you know, I'm glad I was able to secure the #1 ranking again, but yeah, I'm never gonna stop improving. So it's only the beginning. So.
All right, well, if this is only the beginning, I can't wait to see where you'll go. Liam, this is yours. Where? All right, folks, thank you all so much for watching our first tournament of the 2026 season. We can't wait to see you at every tournament this year, May for the Pro Tour and December for the Pro Tour World Championship. So from everyone here at NHRL, all the builders, all the staff, and all the fans, we love you, and we'll see you next time.